And just to let you know, I have to start getting to the gate about 4:45.
No problem. Okay.
So what do you want to do first?
We're gonna march on. Okay, everybody, let me start by saying, good afternoon wait, is record on? Yes, it is. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Tuesday, April 21st. This is a special meeting of the Town of New Canaan's Charter Revision Commission. We're going to open it up with a call to order and roll call. And Angela, would you like us to do that?
No, I think I can do it. Okay, Mr. Case,
Present.
Miss Corbett,
Here.
Miss Holm,
Present.
Miss Jameson, I'm here. Mr. Kimes,
He's going to be absent today.
Mr. Lampert,
Here.
Mr. Labrise, I think he's absent. Miss Neville,
Here.
Mr. Parlow,
Here.
Mr. Perrett, not yet. Miss Willett.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay.
So
Thank
we
you,
have
everybody.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people currently. So that's a quorum.
Okay, great. And then, thank you, Angela. One last thing on the minutes for the meeting of yesterday. I don't think I saw Karen's, did she submit any draft minutes?
Not that I've seen, she was taking minutes at the Inland Wetland Commission meeting yesterday evening. So probably, and then she works during the day. So I hope we'll see something soon.
Okay, so we'll table that. But we do have on agenda item 3 minutes from group 3 that are going to be reviewed. Karen Willett, over to you.
And Judy, you need to turn on your microphone.
Yeah, that would help. Thank you.
So we have the minutes from March 25th through for group 3. I'd like to make a motion to approve those minutes.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
All right.
Aye. All set.
Okay, so what was the date on that? Was the
March 25th.
March 25th, okay. 25th, group 3, approve their minutes, okay. And you know how to get those posted and take away the draft. Okay, very good. I'm just looking, I see that Karen is actually online on Zoom. So that'll be fine. Okay, good. Let me open it up to any public comments if there are any. There's no one in the room. Anybody online that wishes to make a public comment? I see the New Canaan, somebody from the New Canaan Democrats, and then also Laura Dye.
Angela is logged in under.
Oh,
is
Angela,
that-
are you logged on under New Canaan Democrats, perhaps? Maybe that's you.
She's not,
Now you're muted.
she's muted.
Okay.
I heard you. I'm going to see if I can change my name. I'm on my iPhone, which may make it difficult.
Okay.
I'm going to do my best. Sorry about that.
Okay, no worries, no worries. Okay, all right. No public comments. Well, let's move on. Okay, everybody should have the draft report version 11 that has been submitted to the draft report folder under the Charter Revision website. Everyone has those who are present have hard copies in front of them as well. And I'll do a quick page turn and just remind everybody what has been updated since last night's meeting. And if you'd be kind enough to turn to, let's see, the first change of any substance is added the votes. Somebody can confirm that I've got those correct. That's on page 11. And I did actually have a question mark because I don't recall. And Karen Burke, you might have on the last vote. I knew it was 6-4, but I could not remember who voted in favor and who voted against.
I checked that and I'm happy
Thank
to
you.
report if you would like.
Please.
The 3 names in question, Mr. Case voted no.
Okay.
Mr. Lampert, excuse me, let me rephrase that. Mr. Kimes voted no.
Okay.
And Mr. Lambert and Mr. Case voted yes.
Okay.
For what? This was the vote when you were leaving?
This is on page 11.
Correct. You voted yes. Right. I checked that.
Yes, yeah.
I would
Okay.
also.
And I also voted no. I think my name's missing on there, Captain.
Where are
Yes, your
you?
name was already voted.
It's not on there.
Oh, it's not on there?
Not on there. Yeah,
All right.
okay,
so-
I got
it.
Yeah, all
Karen,
right,
I got
Karen.
you.
Yes, I voted no.
So that was 6-4, right, Karen Willett?
In addition, we voted by roll call on the parking commission, and that didn't make it onto the list, and I'd like to suggest that it does.
You remember we voted for that one section?
I mean, to return it to the original.
Yeah.
I mean, and everybody was in favor of, right? It
Unanimous.
was unanimous. Okay, I could do
Do
that.
do we need to,
Did
we
call?
need to include it, I
I
guess?
think we should. I think
All
we
right.
should be
Okay.
on record.
So
with
it's,
that.
okay, and so the vote was what?
Yeah.
It's unanimous.
I know, but what would- just so I can write out the vote.
9,
No, I got that. What would the vote say to what?
Oh,
the vote was,
Not edit the park.
it's at minute 154 in the video, and it was to not accept the proposed paragraph
Okay.
that was submitted, and
Okay.
the vote was to retain the current language.
Okay.
It was really.
Yeah, it was to retain the current language in section 13-5, except for subcategory 6, where we take out Parks and
Forward.
Rec, so that it runs grammatically.
Parks and Rec.
Not Parks and Recs.
No.
Sorry, not Parking Commission. I'm sorry, I don't have that in
No,
front of me.
that's right.
Yeah, we hadn't agreed on that yet.
All right.
There was a statement about shall.
Yes,
Right.
yes, it was very,
Yes.
very minor. It really is
Yeah.
just a
Yeah,
drafting nit.
that wasn't a vote thing.
No,
was
that
just an
wasn't a vote.
edit.
I agree,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's fine.
But we did actually vote for
It was included.
retaining section 13-5, as Joe
Got
said.
it. I got it.
That's the original language.
Okay,
yeah.
and it
Original
was anonymous.
Yeah.
Anonymous. It was unanimous, right? Okay, I'm getting a little tired. It just started, right? Unanimous was, but that was 9-0, or how many people did we have at that
Unanimous.
hour?
9-0.
Yeah, what was the
9-0.
number though?
9-0.
9-0. Yeah.
I also think
I have the names if you want.
Yeah, go ahead. I just said you, okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Corbett,
Yeah.
Holmes, Jameson.
Yeah.
Kimes, Lampert, Paulo, Perret, Willett, and Neville.
Okay, thank you.
I think the motion language on the 12-year is slightly off. If it's easier,
Which one? Sorry. tell me
if the end
date.
of consecutive 12 years falls within an unexpired term.
What page are we on?
At the end of.
On your 11,
11.
Page 11.
the motion there, the language is not correct, what the motion that was made. See if,
So this is 420.
yeah,
to amend-
that language is not what's reflective of what I believe.
To
Todd
amend the
read.
town char, okay, to amend the town charter on behalf of the Board of Finance
So
members.
should it just be easier if I just send the language over?
Yeah, actually, I probably was waiting for that and I ended up
Okay.
writing it myself.
No
but that's
problem.
all right.
Kathleen, it's the one below that. It's the last one that's on that sheet.
Oh, that's
Last
not
note.
okay.
No, that was
okay.
the other one. No, the second one is the.
Yes, I made a butcher job of that one.
That's okay.
No,
so
worries, I'll
please.
send it to you right now.
Fine.
No worries.
Thank you.
Yeah.
For
Okay.
the record, that's at minute 45,
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to. Okay,
that minute 45.
all right.
of the meeting.
Jennifer, you're just gonna send me that. Okay,
right now.
very good, very good. Let's move on. Let me just point out on page 12, I highlighted language that has been there. It was there 10 years ago as well. And that is that, and because we haven't done this yet, so this is still for discussion. But once we establish what things we're recommending to the town council in terms of the first one, establish term limits, the second one is to establish consistency, and the third is to all the technical changes. There is going to be a question before us as the commission as whether it's just going to be one vote on where it's all combined, or whether we're going to ask the electorate to vote separately on these items. And we, 10 years ago, had reached consensus that having, at that time, we had 5 ballot items, was preferable to combining all of the proposed revisions into a single ballot and thus only one vote. So keep that in mind. I'm not asking you to think, to tell me what you think, because we haven't developed all of these yet. So once we do that, that will be a final question for you. Yes.
All the little minor changes.
Yeah.
Those also get bucketed into a vote.
That's under number 3.
It's on this three. Okay.
Yeah, that all gets consumed under number 3. Okay? So that's just to keep that in
You're
mind.
suggesting that when this goes to a vote, that we have identified those that we think should be on the ballot, then the town council agrees or disagrees.
Right.
And then they're all enumerated. Is that basically
Well,
what
if
you're
we
saying?
decide that, this commission should vote on that, whether they're
Yeah.
going to be separate ballot items or going to be one single vote. That's the
Probably
choice.
separate. What was it last time?
Separate.
Yeah, I think it, yeah.
Yeah.
For what it's worth at this
Yeah.
stage, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if we didn't
Yeah.
have, to be honest, if we didn't have 1 and 2, we'd say, or maybe we had 2 and 3, we'd probably say, yeah, put it all as 1, because they were just sort of.
No, we got a couple.
We have a couple
iffy,
of individual
iffy,
things,
yeah.
so, yeah, okay. All right, fine. Next thing I added or amended is on page 14, recommendations for potential bylaw and ordinance updates and other areas. So I just threw down names there. I did not write any text under each. I got a message from Angela that she wanted to add is it inland wetlands? Angela? I know you're on.
For
you're
an
on mute.
ordinance? Yeah.
Yes, so it was the Inland Wetlands Commission ordinance, which is chapter 16 of the code, but also the Inland Wetlands and Watercourses, which is chapter 33A.
Okay. And you're going to come back to us by next week with what that recommendation will be. Give me a sentence or two, right?
Yes, I can do that. Yep.
Okay, thank you. And the same thing for all of these others, a sentence or two about what we're recommending to the town council for updating the ordinances. You'll note here, I put town treasurer.
Kathleen, this is Steve. Can I
Yes,
also
Steve.
suggest that parking commission rules and ordinances should be added to that list? And
Absolutely.
I listened to the video after I had to drop yesterday.
Yeah.
We left at 4:30. So,
Okay.
but that should be on there.
You know what, they are happy to put it on there. I did mention, I think at this meeting last night, that the town council is actually meeting about the parking commission ordinance. So they're updating it for sure to do the citation appeals. I don't know if there's anything else to that, but I'll definitely add it to this list.
I just feel like
Yeah.
all of the parties that exist need to understand, and it's not our role to figure it out, what the role is
Yep,
and how
okay.
it can be executed.
I'm going to go to parking commission first. I just want to read through some of these other bits because we had one last outstanding item and I have the answer to it. So, okay. So starting on page 16, this is the summary. As you know, we've completed articles 1 through 4 here. 1 through, I don't think we did not finish the Board of Finance, so that's still outstanding. Audit Committee is still outstanding. We did finish the Board of Education.
Yeah.
We did finish the Conservation Commission, and all others are still, we need to complete. So there you have it. I'd like to propose, actually, our first proposal was from Joe. He asked that we tackle the town clerk and the town treasurer. Bill's not joining us until the 4:30, so if we use that time, and we'll have Angela on for a brief period of time. And then Steve, what's your timing? He'll come back to us. Let's go to page 30.
Weren't we in great shape too on the audit one, except for one?
If you want to do town attorney, I can do that pretty quickly.
You have something in writing?
Yep.
You gotta share it?
You wanted to
Okay.
share it with us?
Yeah,
Yeah,
or
that's
you want-
where, yeah,
And I do need some comments on it, but I think it's pretty straightforward. So if everybody can turn to that one,
Okay.
I'll give you my ideas. It's really just the first sentence needs to be worked on a little bit.
okay.
So when everybody gets.
Speaking of our town attorney, where is our town? attorney?
It was,
It was 18.
yeah.
Yeah, so town attorney is on page,
But there's nothing in there,
Yeah, there's nothing in there.
yeah, I don't have the
original
language.
Maybe we could do it on Monday so we have the new text to look
You
at.
want to send it, you want
I'll
to
send
send
it
it
out
at
there,
least to us
yeah.
and then, yeah.
So I have a couple questions, just
Yeah.
let me clarify.
Go ahead. You want to
Finalize it.
just ask?
This says right now, there shall be a town attorney appointed by the Board of Selectmen, right? So first of all, my understanding is attorneys are retained, they're not appointed. I
Right,
don't think you can
retained
appoint-
is the right word.
Okay.
Yeah.
Secondly, I don't think it's a town attorney. I think it's a law firm or town attorney that acts as town council. So I just think we need to make it a little broader.
Okay,
Right now, we have an attorney, which is what I've done. And the question is, and the way I have it is that they represent us at the request of the Board of Selectmen or the town council. But I wasn't sure if
they
that was.
represent the charter revision
No, no,
commission or
the
anything.
attorney,
Yeah.
right here it says the town attorney represents, us, but at whose request? See, if something happens.
First selectman.
Is it
Oh,
the first
absolutely,
selectman,
yeah.
the Board of
Well,
Selectmen?
but she goes to, or he goes to the Board of Selectmen.
How about
It's-
how about if somebody wants to investigate the Board of Selectmen, is it the town council? Who has the right to ask the attorneys to represent us was my big question. And the way I thought it should be was that at the request of the Board of Selectmen or town council, but I didn't have a clear answer to who has the
It's
right.
Board of Selectmen. Town council apparently has decided to retain their own council, so this is obviously changing. But the one historically has been
I'm okay with that.
town.
I don't think it's the first selectman, I think it's the Board of Selectmen, is my gut.
For attorney.
Yeah.
For-
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The
it's
request of
Board.
the Board of Selectmen, okay,
Correct.
that's all.
It
right.
has been for like 30 years.
Okay,
But
I'm
in
gonna-
addition to that, the part of it that would be included or updated would be in addition to specialty attorneys or.
I have that in there, that's all, I have all that
Okay.
stuff, yeah. I got
Okay,
it.
so let's
All right.
revise.
Okay,
Let's
so I'm
take a
gonna
look.
revise that, I'll send it out to everybody, so
Okay,
you'll have it
good.
for
And
Monday.
we'll
Thank you.
incorporate it in, so it'll be in draft 12.
All right.
Okay?
Good.
All right, can we go to the parking commission then? I've numbered these, so this is page 30. And the parking commission has changed from, I think it was, what was it before? It was 13, it's now 14, okay? And that's because of the addition of the audit committee having its own separate article. So we had gone through all of this except for that last, I'm on page 31.
Yeah.
That's now 14.6 annual appropriations. So I was sort of confused, although I did feel that this was somehow part of the general government budget process. And in fact, it is.
It is. yeah.
So the Board of Selectmen does actually prepare annually on an itemized estimate of expenses for the maintenance or operation of the public off-street parking facilities for the ensuing fiscal year and of expenses of the parking commission. So that's all part of the budget process.
But
include-
it's Board of Selectmen or?
Selectmen does it, the
the-
Board of Selectmen does it. So actually the first selectman is gathering up all the departments, finance, parking department, assessors, et cetera. And that becomes the general government budget. So it is in fact, when it goes to the Board of Finance, it is coming from, it's called the Board of Selectmen's budget.
Yes, it is. That's
Okay.
right. That's right.
So that's what this language is referring to.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's, I just confirmed, it is coming from the Board of Selectmen. It's part of the parking is part of the general government budget. It is itemized as suggested. And then what we had taken out as language, the Board of Selectmen shall present to the Board of Finance after this is the effective date of this article. Yeah, this was did we determine that this language didn't make it, was there from the original get-go?
Yeah, we took out
think
that
we
last
went- well,
sentence. Didn't we agree on
Well,
that?
I think we had a couple questions here.
Yeah.
So I think there was discussions about where does the parking commission fall into place of at least helping prepare some monetary piece, right?
Well, it would come here in terms of the expenses of the parking commission.
Right.
Right. So the process as it is entailed now, it takes the department, it also communicates with the parking commission.
Commission.
Or do you have any additional expenses, et cetera?
Yeah.
And that becomes all part of the general government budget and becomes the Board of Selectmen's budget. So I just think that last line, I'll confirm with Tucker on that one. I think that's just a leftover from the original formation of this section on annual appropriations, because it does reference after the effective date of this article, an estimate of expenses for the remainder of the fiscal year and a request for appropriation thereof.
So you're taking out the last sentence in the yellow that's already
Yeah.
been read and the
Yeah.
one below it, which has already been.
Well, now
highlighted.
this was a new, so the
Or is this
last,
being- Okay.
sorry.
go ahead.
No, the last sentence that's added there, that looks like additional, oh, you're, oh, thank you.
I heard you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So the last sentence of the annual appropriations, which is, will be 14-6, says the Board of Selectmen shall present to the Board of Finance promptly after the effective date of this article, which doesn't make any sense, right? An estimate of expenses for the remainder of the fiscal year and a request for an appropriation thereof. This is old language
Yeah.
that was first done. Okay, so that's gonna come out. We had highlighted that. Added to it, and I'm forgetting the source of this, expenses relating to the public parking facilities and the parking commission, which is referenced above, shall be funded through appropriations made in accordance with the provisions of this charter. Well, it's not really, is appropriation the same as a budget? That's a separate thing, right?
Separate process.
Yeah, that's if you
Part of the
exceeded.
normal budget allocations, right? They approved.
Yeah, I don't.
I think that originally comes from the fact that the parking commission was paid out of all the parking fees. And they want to include the idea that the expenses are paid out of the budget, not out of the parking fees.
Yeah, that's old language.
If that's just understood, it doesn't need to be included.
We don't need that. I
No,
don't think we
I
need
agree.
it.
I
mean,
agree. I think that is well understood.
All
Both
right.
town clerk and parking fees
Yeah.
used to go to these individual departments, and that's how things were budgeted and paid for and so forth. That's obviously been eliminated, but I don't think the language has ever been updated. So,
Yeah.
okay, so we're striking that language that was inserted. And can I just get a consensus vote? I don't have to do separate votes. All those in favor of the edits made, and there weren't many, to the article, it's now going to be Article 14 for the Parking Commission. All those in favor say aye. Any
Aye.
opposed?
Aye.
And no opposed?
No.
Okay, all right, so motion carries. We'll move, that is complete. And I'm just double checking to see whether Bill's joined. He is not yet. Okay.
I'm gonna follow up on the question I had yesterday, because I still don't have clarity. If tomorrow the Board of Selectmen wanted to put meters on Forest Street, they could just do that, no checks and balances?
I don't think so.
On
I think
Forest
that's-
Street,
Or
okay,
anywhere.
as an example.
I'm just trying to figure out, who has this authority over street parking going forward? I know this.
Well, street parking, again, is if you're changing the number of spots on street parking, that's a police commission.
So changing spots is police.
It's good. If you are simply, you're not changing it, but you're charging for it,
Yeah.
that doesn't go to the police commission.
That's just Board of Selectmen.
Board of Selectmen, it should be the police commission, the parking commission, advising as the language provides.
And the
And here we
police
go again.
commission could say yes or no, like, why are they the authority on park spots?
Okay, so joining us, for those who are present, so joining us is
Well, let me
Tucker Murphy.
just throw in
Yep.
this, you listened to the same three women we did. The ordinance that they're working on in town council includes this, correct?
includes what?
These changes in parking.
It restores
Stores.
them.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
it restores.
So are we ahead of ourselves or?
I know it's a different topic. This isn't the parking. I'm just still trying to understand this parking, like, why would the police commission have jurisdiction over how many parking spaces we have
Okay, good.
On street,
on street?
right, that is all, anything on street per state statute is
But-
regulated. by
Traffic, it's under the, it falls under the traffic.
Traffic authority, local traffic authority.
So, wow, it doesn't seem to make sense that,
No.
they would, like, that has nothing to do with like business. A lot of this is business related and what the town wants. Why? So would the police department come to you and say, we want more spaces here? Or do you go to them saying we need more spaces?
We go to them
Okay,
on street.
okay, so the recommendation starts at the selectman's office, goes to the police commission.
The
Got it.
recommendation could start in multiple places, but it would go to the police commission.
Now I understand it better. So it doesn't start with them, They just make
It
the
could
final.
start with them,
It
but
could if there's a
could.
problem, like
Mhm.
is there's
Now
a
I
traffic.
understand the process better.
There's a
Okay, I got
So
it.
it's a safety issue when it
Mhm.
goes
Yeah.
to
No, now I
that.
get it. I didn't
Can we
understand. I was
say
like,
that?
I
That's-
thought they were just making decisions.
No,
like that.
no. I mean, oftentimes it's in consultation with many.
I
other
get
people.
it, yeah.
Okay, so let's turn to page
about
33.
safety,
Let's
yeah.
deal with the police commission.
Yeah.
Okay,
right.
because I don't think there's a
Thank you
lot
for
of
that.
changes.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Tucker.
Mhm.
So this is now going to be Article 17, previously 15. And the first thing, I think we've addressed that. We highlighted after qualification, group 3 had inquired about what is the reference of qualification. We discussed that at a previous meeting. Qualification means, is this individual an elector? Or if it's Board of Finance, it's elector or taxpayer. So I'm going to take that highlight out unless anybody else needs any further edification there. And then the next section that has been, is powers and duties. And in this case, it was, employ and appoint a chief of police subject to the approval of the majority of the Board of Selectmen. So I guess this looks like new language. Who covered the police
Yeah,
commission?
we did.
We
and- Go ahead.
Karen, I thought we had considered what the other towns were doing in terms of the first selectman appointing the chief of police. Are we not going to
think so.
discuss that at all?
I don't think so.
I thought we were going to open that up all right.
No,
So it's
the only way to do
just-
that is to get rid of the police commission entirely. If you have a police commission, then they have certain duties.
Oh, yeah, by statute.
So you would
Yeah,
have, if you want the
absolutely.
first select.
But in
we-
many towns, the first selectman either chaired it or they ran it or they were on it. And I still think that's a good idea, but I don't know if that tips the,
I mean, I don't think we heard any big clamoring, you know.
no, we
reason for
didn't.
that.
We didn't.
Yeah, I thought the only thing we
Including from
wanted,
the first selectman.
That's
I
right.
asked.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the only thing that we wanted, as I recall, is just an extra check and balance by the Board of Selectmen.
That, yeah.
Once the chief of police was retained to make sure that it passed muster under the current administration.
And I think that actually does happen. I mean, it's been a couple of years since the chief of police changed.
Yeah.
But from my recollection, you just can't the police commission is not going to just pick somebody and that's who it is.
And I agree with that.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't
It wasn't codified.
correct.
Right. And so, subject to the approval by the majority of the Board of Selectmen, I'm fine with that language.
If we want to leave Board of Selectmen, I didn't know if we wanted to.
So what we did in the fire commission, which at the time had similar language.
Yeah.
We didn't touch this. Appoint a fire chief subject to the approval of the Board of Selectmen.
Yeah, so that's what this
Do you
is.
wanna adopt
Maybe we
something
should
similar?
use the same language.
What's the difference?
Yeah, just to take out the majority.
Majority.
Just take out the word majority, that's an obvious one.
Superfluous, yeah.
So if you go to 26 page, Fire Commission, article number 9-4A, that's where that language was. And we didn't modify that.
Right.
Just for the record, Nick has joined us.
Yeah.
Oh, hi,
I saw
Nick.
that, yeah.
Okay.
The only thing that we modified, which if you want.
Well, let's finish police
Yeah.
first.
Yeah, it's,
Okay.
if you do dismissal, yeah.
Yeah, so the other thing, and this actually came from Cheryl, is to update this with what actually happens, I guess, with HR with disciplinary matters. So that's the second red part here under D.
So this is about disciplinary matters. At first, it comes from the police chief, and this actually does align with the fire chief. We had this discussion.
Yeah,
Right.
this aligns with the fire chief. The only difference that I can see in your total article, which, because they were sort of similar
Mhm.
at the time, was we made a modification as per Cheryl. I just lost fire. About the dismissal piece.
Fire's on page 26.
Thanks.
Oh.
Yep.
So,
And any dismissal shall require the approval of the Board of Selectmen.
sorry, where did you see that? Oh, I see up above an A.
Yeah.
Is that just the fire chief
Mhm.
dismissal?
So
Well,
you're
that's
saying
what they
similarly
just-
to be the police chief dismissal. Yeah.
You might want to follow up with Cheryl, but
No, I think that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's fine,
Okay.
yeah.
that's That's what happened.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be
Add to
consistent.
add to letter A that,
The similar language.
dismissal is
yeah.
also
Yeah,
requires,
because otherwise it's not in there. That
Yeah.
makes total sense.
dismissal also requires, board
Okay.
selectmen approval.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
And
got it.
then, you can see there's similar language that we had, which she gave us for fire on the disciplinary stuff.
Yeah, it
Which
looks
is
like that's the
Get
same.
And then the only other one that we did was, if you look at C1, C9 for C1, with the approval of the selectmen, employ and appoint career officers and firefighters and other paid personnel as may be necessary for the adequate protection of the town with the approval of the Board of Selectmen. I don't know if you have one of those.
Yeah, and I mean, we'd have to check the state statute. There are different rules for police
yeah.
commissions and
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
much interference isn't the right word, how independent they are. In part, I don't know if that would count for that, hiring and firing. They have like exclusive powers.
Who's going to check that with Cheryl?
I can
You're going to
double
do
check
that?
that, yeah.
Okay.
She didn't give us that as part. We spoke to her about this section and she did not mention that. Because
Okay.
the fire doesn't have those same restrictions.
It's a different, yeah.
Maybe, but
Kettle of
just
fish.
Yeah,
check.
it
Yeah.
is. It
Yeah.
is.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, good. We'll go to Fire Commission right after this, but I think all of so we've taken out language only after hearing, and again, that came from HR with respect to this on page 34, with respect to the collective bargaining agreement.
All right, where is that exactly? The
34,
red?
the cross out.
Oh, we already took that out, I thought.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
all
just
right,
want
we're
to
just in
confirm
agreement.
that.
Okay.
Yep, yep. And we'll
All
make
right.
collective bargaining, capital C.
Yeah, capital C.
Okay. Any comments or further corrections to the Fire Commission article?
Are you
No,
pleased?
You mean
Please.
police?
Oh, please.
That's all right.
Hello. Wrong place. So please, any other comments or corrections? All those in favor say aye.
All right.
Aye. Any
Aye.
opposed? Okay, that was in favor. That was
was
This
Angela.
is Steve, and I'm going to say aye too. I was on hold.
Yeah,
Okay,
thank
good.
you.
All right, so we don't
Okay,
need to-
so it carries consensus.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, got through that. Still checking to see, welcome, Nick. Let's move on to, let's just go, because we're moving quickly through this. Let's go to the Fire Commission. That is new Article 9. And that's begins on page 26 of our document. And Jen, do you want to pick that up?
Yeah, I mean, Cheryl gave us quite a bit of the language, especially around the grievance process that's been updated. There was also the update, as I said before, with the Board of Selectmen. We also, sort of, because we have Russ, who is the volunteer assistant chief, because we have that in the town. We modified the language there. And then just at the top, we thought it just would be good to have an annual report of all the activities. That seems to be somewhat pro forma, but just to codify it seemed like a good idea.
We're either, we've had this discussion on several, we either need to make them the same. We took it out of Park and Rec. I don't know. What do you think? I mean, you want to put it back in or?
Well, as I recall, both the town council and Board of Selectmen, they do this. Who was in the meeting with us with Jack Horner? He said, yeah, I do that anyway. When he was,
Park and Rec doesn't though.
yeah, I
They
think
stopped
we
doing it
should,
for whatever
it
reason.
should be subject to the Board of Selectmen saying, at the next meeting, I'd like you to come and give us a report. I don't think it needs to be in the charter.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I think it's their own,
Yeah.
just their own.
Yeah,
Maybe this becomes a recommendation in our recommendation section that these boards and
I
commissions.
think that's a great idea.
That's
a great
probably
idea.
even a better idea,
Yeah.
maybe for all of them for
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Because we
Okay.
know they do it on conservation.
Yep.
Oh, they do
We'll
too.
have,
Also.
we're going to suggest they have some consistency in applying.
Yeah,
I
that's,
like
that's,
that.
I
Okay.
like that too.
Okay. All right, so it'll just come out of there, but we'll make the,
All right.
okay. Any other comments or corrections on the Fire Commission?
Where is the assistant chief in this?
It's
Or-
listed in the event of
paragraph
a vacancy, it's under A.
Okay, all right,
So,
see here, all right.
in the position, the paid assistant chief shall be the acting chief.
Yes, that's right,
That's
yeah,
how it
always
works.
has,
Yep.
yeah.
I'll
Select,
make a motion to approve the
yeah,
changes to the.
Okay, all those in
commission.
favor of
I second.
accepting?
Aye.
Yeah, aye.
Aye.
Okay, any opposed?
Aye.
Okay. Okay, consensus is unanimous. Okay, all right, moving along. All right,
We
great.
just need to do it this way in the future where there's only, 6 or 7 of us here.
no, these are
No, no, these are
lighter.
all
You
good
have to,
things,
you
all
have
good
to
things.
concede.
Okay, still don't see, Bill. Well, you know what, let's
We
take,
wanna
could, we could
start
do,
with-
Health and Human Services, because I did do
That's
the
true,
2
too,
edits.
yeah.
And we can
you know
finalize
what,
it.
I want to start because I've got Angela for
Oh.
5 minutes here and I want to do, town clerk is, I don't think long. Let's check it out. Page
Done it enough
35.
times, yeah.
Yeah, page 35. Obviously, it's, let's see, what is this? This is actually 21 is the new number. And it would, no change on, it will be, it'll remain an elected town clerk. And we added language about approving, that the town clerk may, not shall, may appoint an assistant town clerk or clerks who having, and they also are subject to taking the oath of office. And they shall, in the absence or inability of the town clerk, perform all duties as town clerk. The assistant town clerk shall perform such other duties as the town clerk may prescribe. Is that the right prescribe? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and then there is a reserved section in, I'm not sure why, but there was a reserved section in the town clerk section. And we're adding the applicability of administrative policies. Now, this was briefly discussed. This was submitted when we were looking at, when we had actually voted on that the town clerk shall remain elected. This applicability of administrative policies, the town clerk shall be subject to all applicable administrative rules, policies, procedures, and standards of conduct governing department heads and municipal employees of the town, including but not limited to personnel policies, ethics provisions, operational directives duly adopted by the town. It goes on to say the town clerk shall, in the performance of their administrative and operational duties, be accountable to the first selectman and shall comply with the lawful directives and oversight consistent with the town charter and applicable law. And importantly, nothing herein shall be construed to diminish the statutory authority or independence of the town clerk where such authority is prescribed by state law. So again, the notion being everybody here who serves, runs a department, if you will, in the functioning of our town has employees, municipal employees, that are part of that department and under the leadership of the department head. In this case, it would be the town clerk. And that language, as shared, is basically the language that's the responsibility of the department head, in effect. Yes, Joe,
Time for discussion?
please.
Okay. I think that the first paragraph about the assistant town clerks is fine. I think
Okay,
it's very constructive. I want to point out what I think are some very serious issues with the second and the third paragraph. I refer everyone to old section 14-1 and 14-2, which essentially says that the jurisdiction of the selectmen over town employees goes on except for those that are elected. So by the charter, current charter 14-1, the elected employees, of which the town clerk and the eventual treasurer are one, they're excluded. And this language, particularly in paragraph 3, talks about reporting to or accountable to the first selectman. So that's a direct conflict. And second, 14.4 actually puts all of the elected employees along with other people under the jurisdiction of the Board of Ethics. So that language is not needed. So when you take those two pieces out and kind of a lot of the things that come with them, and you look to other towns as we've done, there is no other town that we can find that has anything similar. And the concept of discrimination came up in some of our other discussions. If we're going to apply this, here, I mean, where I don't think it's needed.
Apply which specifically?
Set paragraphs 2 and
I
paragraphs 3.
know, I see that, but what's the language? What's the key?
All the
All of
language-
it?
In paragraph 2 and 3,
Okay.
if that's going to be applied across the board to everyone else in town, well, then that would be more reasonable. Like, for example, the Board of Finance, who I've contended for a long time, doesn't report to anybody, at least on the org chart.
Can I just point out on the Board of Finance, the Board of Finance is a board, right? So it's a board. They don't manage people as the town clerk's office does. They don't have employees reporting up to them. And so that language, as you've identified, is not applicable to any
Okay,
board or
so-
commission, an individual for sure.
Right.
So if you said, gee, this should be applicable to, the head of public works,
Right.
appropriately so. Yeah.
Let me continue on with my discrimination concept.
Yeah.
The only person that I know of all the organizations and people we reviewed that was submitted a list of 15 questions, which supposedly came from the people on our commission, including questions to the clerk about marriage licenses, credit card use, software development, which just seem outside of the charter. And the clerk took the time to respond in 7.5 pages of detailed response. And I think this idea that the clerk is not a team player, which came up in our group 1 meeting, one of the big issues was that the clerk's hours are different from the town hall's hours. And this looks desynchronous. However, when investigating it, it turns out that the town hall hours were changed to accommodate employees to come in earlier to beat traffic. And the clerk is staying open longer to accommodate the residents of the town. So I see the overall origin of this being more on an individual level. I see it being inconsistent with the broad reach of the charter and nothing in anyone else's. And I think paragraphs 2 and 3 should just be dismissed. Paragraph 1 is fine, we can keep that.
Okay, thank you, Joe. So again, I want to underscore the fact that we don't want to be in the business of regulating behavior. We don't. And a lot of these issues have to do with practices that are not considered part of the overall. Steve Case has raised his hand. Steve, I'll be with you in a second here. So in the, I would say the mildest way possible, we said, look, there are some operational issues that have been identified that having people participate, employees participate in an overall group area from HR, for instance, and the different policies and directives that come from HR. They are not currently consistently applied. And so we found this language that seems to just address policies of the administrative type and operations of the town council. Again, does not take away in any way, shape, or form the statutory responsibilities and independence of the town clerk, and that's clearly stated. So I appreciate that this seems unique. It's a unique kind of situation.
Is it unique to the individual or unique to the position of?
It's unique to the position,
The
to the office.
No, it's not. I think.
I don't know if it is or not.
Well,
Who gave you this?
This is a combination of what is the applicable policies? Are they administrative? Nobody's telling anybody how to do their job. It's just operationally how they operate in the town hall.
Question, have you, members of the commission, read the town clerk questions and the
Yeah.
answers the clerk provided?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, we submitted it to
And
everybody.
based on those questions and answers, do you feel there's a serious issue here?
I don't.
I don't.
You don't or
No,
do?
no,
You
look,
do.
Yeah.
There is a serious
Yeah,
issue.
of course it is.
There's a serious issue. Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I don't want to butt in, but I can't put up my hand when I'm on my phone. And I
You
would
can
just
bump
say,
in.
I'm well, sorry, I apologize. But I would say we have got some operational dysfunction here, and I think it needs to be addressed. It seems to me this is a very appropriate way of doing that, while making sure that the elected office of town clerk remains independent, as it should be, and as is prescribed under state statute. But you know, they're part of town clerk's office is part of a team of people that work at town hall, and there need to be certain policies relating to HR and organizational issues that are consistent across town hall.
Steve has
Steve
his hand up
Case,
real
yes, Steve, please?
Yes, I want to reiterate Angela's
Chris.
comments. My point of view is there needs to be a order. There is zero way that I would ever want to impinge on the independence of the town clerk, or frankly, I think the same issue applies to the town treasurer. But I think there needs to be a way of reporting and making sure that policies and procedures are followed. And the ultimate executive officer is the first selectman. And I believe that the way the language is written is absolutely appropriate to include in the charter at this time. So as much as I really do like my friend Joe, I totally disagree.
Well, I think that's personalizing something that doesn't need to be personalized.
Okay, we're trying to make it role-based, so, Todd.
Yeah. I think you have to look at this section in total, and we clearly put in there in the second paragraph that they only comply with lawful directives and that nothing should diminish the statutory authority and independence of the town clerk.
Yeah.
So you could be accountable, but you're still not going to do anything that you're not supposed to do. This carve out fully protects the independence of the town clerk while still making her accountable to function properly within the scheme of government. So
And
to
you-
me, it's appropriate.
And you feel that if you look at section 14.1, jurisdiction of the selectmen, including first selectmen, except those elected, which is what the town clerk is, that having the statement accountable to the selectmen doesn't conflict with that as
Not
a
at all.
term. I disagree.
I disagree.
I
Let's
don't.
go, let's.
Can we
that's all
have
right,
a
Bill,
legal
let's-
opinion on this?
Let's,
'Cause I'm
yes,
not
let's go to
sure.
Bill Perrette, and then we'll
I can
get
see it both ways legally.
Bill, and then we'll also hear from Nick Lamonte. Bill, welcome.
So, I may be repeating something that was said because I just came in a few minutes ago. But look, we've all heard enough about the problems between A and B, B and C, or whatever. I recently had an opportunity to observe one of those issues. And it was an email exchange where someone was allegedly invited to a meeting, but actually the email was never sent to that person. So we don't need to get into all the detail. So my only point of saying that is that whenever there's a difficulty with people, you never know where the problem starts, right? Or where the problem ends. And when I was on the audit committee, there were problems with a number of people in town hall, some of whom were union employees, some of whom were employees, people locking the doors, refusing to allow auditors to come in. So if you wanted to have something that was applied to all the employees, I would be fine with that. But I have difficulty is taking sides on one employee versus another employee. Because I don't know about you, but my general philosophy is everybody's innocent until proven guilty. I haven't observed personally any of this. I'm not suggesting others haven't, but this should apply to everybody, not just one or two people. And it should apply, and it should apply to the first selectman and the second selectman and the third selectman as well, who are all elected.
Okay, thank you,
That
Bill.
would be,
Okay, thank you, Bill.
Can I just say something?
Yeah, hold on just a second. Chris, I think you might need to mute yourself? Sorry. Go ahead, Jennifer.
I think in some ways I understand there's sort of some issues going on, and I can, there's a lot of, as Bill said, yes and no's and who's the source of what. But I would say if this is going to apply, then this should go to all the elected positions, including the registers, including the constables.
Where there's departments?
Well, the registration office, does it have the same hours as the rest of town?
Well, but it has employees.
And it has
a lot
employees.
Of,
And they are elected,
week
the
or
registers,
month or-
yep.
Not in the charter though, right?
I understand, but if we're
Well,
gonna
that's
start
right.
applying
Yeah.
this,
That's right.
then we need to apply it across the board as opposed to target. And I would
I
also,
completely agree. And I completely, especially agree with the comment on all elected officials. I completely
and maybe
agree.
maybe there's some language that we can put in that's not just the clerk, but these offices, such as the registrar's office or whatever, I'm picking on them, but I don't mean to, needs to operate within the same guidelines as the town. And I think what we're coming up with is operational issues. And what we're trying to solve here, no offense, is somewhat leadership issues and personality issues, which I don't personally believe belongs in the charter. But I do believe there should be something that's to the point of there should be better coordination with people, as you say, who have employees, but also who are elected. And I think that's important across the board for all those offices that basically contain those people. And I don't mean to pick on the register, but I think, if you're going to be open, town hall's open, then you need to be open, right? And I don't disagree that you should have the same hours, because as a resident, I think I should be able to go there and it should be open. But I think, and you should basically abide with the code of ethics and all the rest of it, because you do that. But let's make it across the board then. Yeah.
If you make it across the board, I'll remove my objection.
Okay, that's fine. Bill, do you have your hand up again, or is that just, you haven't taken it down?
No, I'll take it down. I'm sorry.
Okay, no problem. Chris, did you have a comment on this?
You're mute.
yeah, I think you muted in.
Oh, no, I didn't.
Yeah, hi. Again, I think this is a question of trying to legislate behavior, and we can't really do that. So the office is the office. We need to, if the issue is enforcing hours in town hall, I don't think that's something that needs to be in the charter.
Yeah, that's not my understanding, that's not the issue. No.
So the issue, what is the issue?
The issue is consistency in terms of directives and oversight consistency across the town charter. So I agree with what's being recommended in terms of whatever those operational policies are, should be applicable to all departments.
Yep.
To all departments. That's fine. And we can move that up front. We can do
Yeah,
that.
I mean,
That's not a problem.
the first selectmen are set, but decides what the town hours are, and the major
Yeah.
departments should be there.
Yeah. So the language like this, you're suggesting, I'm hearing a somewhat of a collective agreement that we get it. We do want to have some consistency in terms of operational things, people not doing things sort of off to the side, just because, of their position, but that if you have a department or you're managing people, that you should follow a consistent code of conduct. Is everybody happy with that?
Yeah, and I don't say you should be accountable to the first selectman.
No, I don't like that word.
I'm not
that's
very
the one
keen,
that bothers
but there
me,
should
yeah.
be coordination amongst these elected offices with the town government.
I agree.
And I think that then doesn't target the clerk, but then gets us to a consistency in, yes, you know what, if the town government has a department head meeting, all the department heads have to be there, no matter what your status, right? If you're elected, appointed, an employee.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Okay.
I think that's just just good
But
governance.
do we need to carve out the elected officials in this? I mean,
No, it should apply
If
to,
you're going,
it
Well,
if you're
could.
going to, if you're going to say that if you're going to have a meeting, everybody should be there. I hate to be granular, but I'm an auditor and I have actually looked at this. And you have to make sure that everybody gets invited to be there.
Right.
Okay, and I don't want to get into the details, but I've seen it where, someone was on one piece of paper was scheduled to be there, but was never invited.
okay.
I
So we're
just-
not, again, we're not
And
trying to
so
be
I don't know
specific
I don't
about
know
here.
whether it's
Broad.
oversight or whatever, but I am happy with someone saying first selectman or the selectmen, set the policy for the town in terms of operations or
Yeah.
structures or computer systems. That goes without saying.
Okay, Karen.
I was just thinking, I mean, it is very inconvenient to have to work with elected independent people. Like
Oh,
that,
yeah.
that's just, it's part of how government is, right? It can be inconvenient to work with people that you're not the boss of. And I just don't see where putting this in the charter has any teeth. If you violate policy as an elected official, whatever this policy is, it's not like you're an at-will employee that can be disciplined for that policy. So I don't see where, even if you put this in the charter, what that would change. It might change because somebody just willingly conforms to it, but I don't think it could ever have any teeth to it. So that's my
So
thought on
whether,
that.
so there are a couple of elected positions, as you say, registrar of voters.
Well, that's the key. And
and-
you got some of the same issues.
So, so again, if it's
Yeah.
applicable and they're not following just common operational procedures and they're an elected position, that could be reason to vote them out. So if it's in the charter and it's not something that they're doing, that could be a reason that somebody might run against them. Again, an elected position situation, okay? If it's the parking manager or the director of public works, and they're also not following these, they can be dismissed. They're at-will employees. So I think it's balancing both the elected positions where they have managerial authority over employees as well as department heads.
So I would suggest we could make a motion on the town clerk to vote to retain paragraph 1, the first of the 3 paragraphs, which I think we all agree on, which relates to the assistant town clerks, and to reposition some variation of paragraphs 2 and 3 to a more general section, possibly section 14, or maybe sections 1 or 2, which tend to be
Okay.
miscellaneous.
Let me, again, we'll send that around and show it. For clarification, there are certain sections of that article that are not on here, but we're saying that those,
So I have.
yeah, so you've got those,
I've got
but so it's not that we're approving just these, but,
Yes.
okay, got it. Okay, good.
So should we?
And those comments were dropped for what reason? They're aged out, or what was
Which comments?
the ones in the charter 10 years
No,
ago?
they're still there.
Oh, it is?
We only
Okay,
put
all
in
right.
things that we
All
have
right.
changed.
Yeah.
Okay, I
Yeah.
get it. Yeah.
So
All right.
on the town clerk, I think we're in general agreement on the first of the 3 paragraphs, that we could have a motion to approve the paragraph 1 that would close out the town clerk, and then we can decide where to put the other language, which I would support across the board for elected.
Can I make a suggestion? Can I make a suggestion that we flip the order here and that we first have the motion that would apply to all elected officials who run departments? And let's take that vote and then come back to the town clerk.
I prefer we just get the clerk over with. And then we
Yeah,
can
I
go
think-
make that language.
Well, I think because Angela is just about to board here. And so let's just quickly do, so town clerk, all the language that's currently in the charter, plus the changes that are put in section, it's going to be 21-1. And then so can I just have a consensus? Is everybody in favor
When
of
you
that?
say section 21-1, we're only talking the first paragraph.
Terms of office and duties where we've added
fine.
2 sentences.
Yep.
Is everybody happy with that?
Yeah.
Anybody
Yes.
opposed? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Whoa, 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 stop,
Aye.
stop.
Stop, Chris.
Since I don't have the document in front of me, I would like for somebody to read it out loud.
Okay, so this is a first section under the town clerk's article, which happens to be now 21, C21-1, term of office and duties. The current language states, and it's repeated, there shall be an elected town clerk whose term of office shall be that prescribed by the general statutes and whose powers and duties will be those prescribed by the general statutes and this charter, period. Two new sentences added. With the approval of the Board of Selectmen, the town clerk may appoint an assistant town clerk, parentheses, S, close parentheses, who have taken the required oath, shall, in the absence or inability of the town clerk, inability of what? It doesn't say. Inability of the town clerk, perform all duties as town clerk. Assistant town clerks shall perform such other duties as the town clerk may prescribe. Okay, so that's the added language under section, the original section 19-1, term of office and duties. So that's
Okay,
what we're.
I vote yes.
Okay, everybody
I
is
think
encouraged. We're moving
all
ahead
okay.
with the town clerk. And then the second, I'd ask for consensus, administrative policies, which currently sits under the town clerk section. I'll find the spot for it. I'll bring it to everyone's attention on Monday. And this will be applicable to basically department heads, whether you're appointed or elected.
Sure.
Everybody comfortable with that?
All right, whichever. yeah.
Okay, any objections? Hearing none, we're
No.
moving on. Okay,
So we voted on.
Kathleen, I would just maybe, the word of department head, just you would know better than me.
Yeah.
Is that broad enough? You know, it maybe should be a little
people
broader.
who supervise, people who supervise others, basically.
So have we closed out the town clerk?
Yes, sir.
That
Yes.
was a good idea, Joe.
Yeah,
That was a good idea.
yep,
I
okay.
think it ended up.
All right, so we've done the town clerk. And so now, so we're gonna have, did Angela leave us? She's still with
Yeah,
us?
no, she's on.
No, I'm about to get on the plane, but I'm going to carry on as long as I can.
Okay, all
I
right.
love this dedication.
I was gonna say, I know, my goodness. Amazing. Okay, let's go to, let's go to audit. Did we finish Board of Finance?
No, we only had one last item.
Let's do that, Board of Finance.
It's on what page?
Oh, no, audit board, let's do audit board. We
Okay,
have one last item that we were.
so our audit board is on page 24. It's, we created its new article. It's gonna be Article 6. And as we've discussed, I think there was general agreement in our conversation to go to audit board from audit committee. Correct me if I got that wrong. I've made those changes throughout. The one question that remains outstanding is Article 6-2. Is that right? Do I have that right?
Yes.
6-2. And this was going to, this is one of my favorites. Audit whether or not we should have belts and suspenders or just suspenders. And that is the Board of Selectmen shall appoint members of the audit board subject to the confirmation by an affirmative vote of 7 members of the town council. Discussion ensued yesterday about whether or not to eliminate the Board of Selectmen from that appointment process and that it only be the town council. We've had the ability to discuss it. If you'd like to go first to those who were not present in this conversation, that would first go to Chris Labrie. Chris, are you still with us?
I don't think he is.
He's
Somebody-
still on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
However, it's muted. Okay.
Okay,
Chris-
here I am.
Okay.
Oh, there he is.
Did you hear what I just said?
I did, and so, the question is whether or not the selectmen should, be in the process of appointing the audit. And, I would still be in favor of having the, selectmen involved in that process.
Yeah, which is how it is today.
Yeah,
Right.
which is like it is today.
Followed
And not,
by
not,
town council.
and not exclusively at town council. Because the audit committee, the town
Sitting
council
right.
has responsibility vis-a-vis the audit committee too. So at what point do you have a conflict of interest? Both. So why eliminate one of them?
Okay, all right.
Chris, it was to have a real separation of powers, which
Well, but-
unless you elect the audit board, you don't have with the Board of Selectmen or the first selectman making the decision as to who to
Yeah,
hire.
but the town council is not more virtuous than the selectmen.
No, I am not suggesting they are. I'm just trying to find a way
Okay,
that
this is
makes
just
it
appointment.
independent.
And I'll tell you, you can't have the auditors elected because the qualifications are so specific that you could, you can't be so specific in defining a political office. So I think that's going to be very impossible to do. So you've got to stay with appointment, and neither the selectman's office or the town council have clean hands in this matter. So why eliminate one from the other?
It's hard. I agree with you.
Yes.
So I would not be in favor of eliminating one and favoring the other. You either keep them both in, you've got to keep them both in somehow.
Okay, all right.
Do we also, as a town, have external auditors?
Yes,
Yeah.
of course you have to, and they're independent.
That's what I'm saying, it's a
Yeah.
check and balance right there, so
Yeah.
I'm for leaving
Yeah.
it the way it is.
All right, Bill Perrette has his hand up. Bill?
He looks mad.
Kathleen, are there any examples in the charter where we have, more than 7 people on the town council, a supermajority, make it 9? Or is there any example where the selectmen, other than the first selectman, because the real issue we talked about is, who's being audited is the first selectman. Because that's the person who controls the books and records. So if the other two.
Okay, the first selectman is not being
Would be
audited. It's the town is being
Or-
audited. Okay,
Or if it was a supermajority of the town council, yes, that's correct, but the first selectman directs the town, right?
Yeah.
And again, it's not Deanna, because she's not gonna be here 4 years from now, whatever, but somebody else will
Right.
be.
You have to separate the people from the.
yeah,
Right.
who's the
So I'm just
CEO
asking-
of, yeah. So there's no other provision that where the selectmen, Board of Selectmen are not part of the process. I'm going to double check that. Is that the Housing Authority, but it's not in the charter. But in every other board and commission, it goes through the Board of Selectmen, and then in
This
certain
one.
others, it goes to the town
I
council.
think it's this commission.
This commission
Mhm.
went to the town council, did not require, thank you very much. Karen just pointed out, did not require the Board of Selectmen approval. It was just the town council. But in this particular case, has always been the case for over 10 years now, the audit committee was first approved by the Board of Selectmen and then subsequently subject to the confirmation for 7 votes on the town council. So no, I'm proposing no change to this, that it's going to remain at consistent with others. Angela, did you want to weigh in here? I think I've got I need Steve Case and I need Angela. Go ahead.
Yes, so I am in favor of keeping it as it is, that the Board of Selectmen appoints, but that it's subject then to the approval of town council. I think this
Okay.
is an area where it works well, it gets everybody involved.
No, okay, Steve Case?
I'm also in favor of keeping things the way they are, and the selectmen being the key appointment body and not introducing the town council as a key appointment body.
They are a key appointment, but
They
they're
already-
not,
they
they're
already-
in addition. They
Yeah.
work together. Bill, are you, what's your position?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear, what's the question?
Okay, so are you comfortable with remaining at Board of Selectmen and Town Council in appointing?
Yeah, I think I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think it would be a big improvement if we changed it. So the question is, do you want to improve? But I can understand those who don't want to change it.
Okay,
What would you change it to, Bill?
Well, assuming neither one of the alternatives I was searching for worked, I guess I would do it with the with the town council. I would make it the chairman of the town council. So to be the person that he can then take a vote of the town council, some combination. I just think it makes it more independent. And I want to be clear, it's not about the current administration, because we've had the audit committee for 3 selectmen at this particular point in time. And independence is really important here. And this is all about human dynamic, right? Nothing
Yeah.
else.
Okay, so I'm gonna do it. Yes,
I
go
think it's
ahead.
just the opposite. I think by taking the first selectman away, you lose a whole layer.
No.
Yeah, you're losing a whole layer. Now it's just one board that's making a decision. This way, first selectman is being checked by
Yeah.
council. So
And
And it's the
I
full
think-
board,
to me, it
it's the
makes
full
it
board,
more
not
of a
just the select,
I
it's not
would-
just a selectman.
I would
Sorry.
hope that's true. But I was trying to recall in this 10 years, any person, including Board of Finance, that had to be approved by the town council as well, that was not. I can't think of one
Again,
person.
that's behavior and leadership.
Well, it is, but the point is, what are we accomplishing? We're just adding all this, it's sort of
I don't know.
fluff.
Every CEO appoints their CFO.
I
and
know.
the board's in charge of it.
I
That's
know.
just
And
the
the
way it
Can I
is.
board,
motion to
you have
take
the
a
whole
vote?
board.
That's it, yeah.
Okay, so let's go, I think I don't want to lose anybody here, and I may have, but I think I got everybody. We know that Angela is in favor of leaving it. And Chris is leaving it as is.
Leave as is.
Bill,
Yep. Angela leaves as is.
thank you. As leave it as Bill, I still am not sure what Bill was. Was Bill, leave as
Bill
is?
wanted it to go town council.
He was on the fence.
I think Bill
Whatever.
said leave it. I understand if
Okay.
people say want to leave it.
I can understand leaving where it is. I think it'd be an improvement. I think it would be an improvement. to
Okay, as is. Okay, Jennifer.
As is.
Okay, and Judy.
I'll go with as is.
Uh-huh,
I'm not
okay.
happy with it.
And
but I'll-
Joe is as is, and Todd. Okay, it's unanimous. Okay.
All right.
Woo!
That's a
Okay.
good discussion.
It's a tricky, it's a
It's
tricky
good, it's
one.
healthy, it's healthy.
All of this is
And by
about
the
the
way-
people.
And
all of
by
it.
the way, this can be part of the recommendations
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. Yeah.
Right, about, the whole voting and appointing
Yeah.
process.
And,
Okay.
and what you do with the information
Does
when
that
it is
mean we've got
returned
audit done?
from the
Chris
auditors. That's
Labrie
the
is
key.
clapping to the-
Hey, raising one hand and clapping. Okay, the only other thing is that we did talk about, and I did make that change about the board, and this came from Bill, shall provide an annual update of its activities to the Board of Selectmen. That's at the bottom of page 24.
Yep.
That's reflecting our comments from yesterday. And I believe the audit committee and board is done.
I think
Okay.
that's it.
All
yeah.
right, reviewed and done. Okay. All right, good. Now, you want to finish up Board of Finance? Do you have any other, you had some new
So,
language for us, or?
No, I just
Okay.
remember I was to compare what was
Yes.
right. So the only one that I noticed was,
What page?
This start,
let me go back. I'm on the
Board
old
of-
one.
Board of Finance is Article 5, and that's on page 22.
Right, starting on, 22. So the only major difference on one of them was this insertion on the bond issues. That wasn't part of the original language I gave you,
Yep.
which was upon approval by the Board of Selectmen.
Yeah. So I think what the grammar of these sentences is that it was kind of out of sync. So it says the Board of Finance may recommend the issuance of the bonds
Yeah.
in the form and substance to the limitations required by law for any public purpose, and inserted was to the Board of Selectmen, period.
Yep.
Okay? And that was not in there before, so it just didn't say who they reported it to.
Okay,
So,
well, that's
so that was
interesting.
added,
Yeah, all
okay?
right.
And then what happens next, this is more of a step function. Once the Board of Selectmen gets it and they approve it, so the insert was upon approval by the Board of Selectmen, comma, next step, the selectmen shall publish once a week for 2 successive weeks, a notice of the meeting of the town council to consider and act upon such recommendation of the Board of Finance stating the time and place thereof.
Right, so,
So it was just a step function.
yeah, but
That's all right.
today the Board of Selectmen doesn't approve it. I went back and looked at some of
It doesn't approve what? The issuance of
Bond
bonds?
issuance?
Yeah, we do.
No, it doesn't
Well, the
approve the
treasurer
recommend.
signs.
No. What happens today is the Board of Finance recommends buying bonds to the Board of Selectmen. The Board of Selectmen, there's no official vote today, my understanding is. And then what happens is they basically then publish the notes, the notices for 2 successive weeks. The town council does the approval.
It doesn't go a step function, Board of Selectmen. I recall
I
voting
thought,
on it.
you know what?
Yeah.
I have to sit and think about this.
I spoke to
I-
Andrew again today to clarify that, because
Okay.
because
okay.
he does sign the circular.
I know he signs it, but I think
Yeah.
there's also a step function. Chris Labrie, have you heard this conversation? Do you recall?
Yes,
Okay, when you're recommending the issuance of bonds, do you know the step function?
yeah, the final approver is the town council.
Correct.
Yeah.
Is there a step in between? Does it go to the Board of Selectmen for their review and approval?
No, I don't think it needs to.
The language that originally said here is that the,
It never had the Board of Selectmen approving. It has.
but
them
they
then
had to
being-
publish it.
They have to.
Well, yes, the Board of
recommendation.
Selectmen has, yes,
You're
the
right.
Board
I
of
think
Selectmen.
that's correct.
the-
Yeah.
the
Right,
board-
so they
yeah, the board-
they now sort of take the ball from the Board of Finance. They now then do the noticing, right, which they
Right.
have to do. And then the recommendation, and then the statement of purpose, et cetera. And then the town council may approve, disapprove, or reduce the amount of such proposed bond issue. Yeah.
So my question,
That's correct. The Board of Selectmen has a secretarial function.
Correct.
so that's my question.
No, I think, yeah, you're right.
And so what if the Board of Selectmen doesn't agree about a bond issue?
I don't think that's ever happened, but it's a
We're doing
good
bonus
question.
right now.
It doesn't, it wouldn't matter. It would be up then to the town council to decide that they don't want to issue the bonds that the Board of Finance recommends. So it's really the legislative body that has to authorize.
As to authorize, I get it.
The incurrence of debt,
Right.
not not the executive.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the original
Steve
language.
is checking off just so everybody knows. Thanks, Steve.
Okay, thanks.
Oh, thank you, Steve. Have a
So
good
we,
trip.
so we cleaned up this language, you're right, when we got together at group 2. And then I think if we remove upon approval by the Board of Selectmen, it said the selectmen shall
Just take out the
publish.
approval because they're
Yeah.
not doing it.
They don't, yeah,
I thought we did, but.
no.
Well, you know what? I know we review it, and
Why-
I guess we issue
I
it or
hate to
we
be the-
publish it, but we
I mean,
said
it
we
sounds
don't
from this
approve
I
language,
hate
it.
to be the secretary
I
and not
know.
having
Just sit
authority.
on it
I
and
know.
Never schedule the meeting.
Yeah,
Pardon?
that's,
Based on this language, you could kind of sit on it and never schedule the meeting.
Well,
No,
that's,
you have to publish it for 2 successive
Yeah.
weeks of the notice.
yeah, that's what the language
Yeah.
says.
yeah, I
Yeah.
do remember that.
Okay, so we're
absolutely,
taking
yeah.
on upon, and that's why it was highlighted, because that's what's for discussion. So we're taking that out, okay? And it shall just say with a period after, and then the selectmen shall,
Publish.
and do you want this language to remain forthwith cause to be published?
No, so the selectmen shall publish.
Okay,
I think we had scratched the forthwith cause in our.
yeah, we did,
Yeah, we
yeah,
did.
yeah.
The only change, as I said, was the upon approval. I don't believe we had
Yeah,
inserted
no,
that.
that's fine.
Once
just
a
check
week
that
for
out.
2 successive weeks, da, 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 da. Such recommendation and the meeting notice, because we clarified that in group 2, based upon that, shall contain a full, complete statement of the purposes. And then so the language from there on actually works with the process.
Got it. Okay, anything else? We talked about water rates yesterday, removal.
Mhm.
Next section, records.
Yep.
Jennifer, what you want to talk?
No,
about?
I think sort of speaks. So, I'm getting C5-25, right? Is that what we're talking about?
Yes.
So, one thing I think we learned, and Diane was extremely helpful in this, is that we do give money to non-for-profits beyond sort of things like the library. So, I think we worked through this. This was actually really interesting. It was news to them in terms of that this needs to be audited or be part of an audit. So they're gonna come up with, Diane had some great ideas about coming up with how to basically implement this. To get
Doesn't have to be in the charter, but
No,
those
but
references.
it was a
yeah.
good awareness moment, yeah. Because once we give money, then they sort of basically are under the purview of the audit.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, now my next section, system of accounting. So this was an additional sentence to the paragraph. Chris, if you're still with us, you don't have it in front of you, but this is under system of accounting. The last line that is been moved in or inserted is the town council will, and there's been some discussion about whether they will approve the audit report prior to submission to the Connecticut Office of Policy and Management, or the town council will receive the audit report prior to the submission of the Connecticut Office of Policy and Management. In my time as on the town council, we received it. We never had to approve it. And
Yeah, I don't know that anybody actually approves
I don't either.
the financial report.
correct.
No, I think receive is the right word.
Okay.
Yeah, receives the right word, but I want to go back to this question about the water rates. Did you guys vote on this yesterday?
We just discussed it. We haven't voted on the whole article
I do
yet.
another thing under this before we do that.
Okay, whatever you do with the water rates though, you have to continue to have the revenue and the expense and the capital budget of the sewer system be approved by the Board of Finance. Whether or not you set up a separate water pollution control authority, they have to get approval for those financial items from the Board of Finance, and they have to submit a budget just like everybody else.
Okay, so in this section, Chris, this talks about the rates being charged. You want me to read it to you? The Board of Finance, upon recommendation of the Department of Public Works, shall have a power to establish equitable rates and from time to time to revise such rates for the use of any system of public water supply authorized by the town
Okay,
council.
just repeat those words. Public water supply.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not sewer. It's the supply of public water.
Yeah.
correct. So it's
Oh,
really,
it's the sup-
but
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
so
the,
it's-
wow, I don't know that we run, yeah, we don't have municipal one.
yeah, so this came into discussion because now that's all offered by Aquarian and others.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not have anything, there's nothing in here about sewer. And so, the town essentially itself even contracts with Aquarian for things. So that's why we struck it.
And it also goes on to say about outstanding water supply bonds. We don't issue water.
Yeah, okay, so this has to do with water supply. and
Correct.
Not with water treatment, waste treatment. Okay,
Correct.
fine. Then I withdraw my comments.
Okay,
Yeah.
then Todd, you had a comment
Yes,
next.
system of accounting, we changed the town shall annually hire an independent accounting firm. We changed it to engage.
Yeah,
And I'm gonna go back to it should probably be retained, but.
we said retain.
I
forgot
thought we
about that.
agreed on retain.
Okay,
No?
I
That was
missed.
in another section.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah.
That was in another section? Okay, I
Oh,
just
was
missed it
it?
on
I
that
It's
one.
a better,
Okay,
Can
retain.
you see it here too? Yeah.
Okay, so is there general consensus on the last line being the town council will receive the audit
Yes.
report?
Yes.
Any objections?
I don't,
No.
we don't need to vote on that.
No,
do we?
I just-
No,
No,
I'm for it.
I agree. I agree.
I agree.
No, their
God,
flight
she's
hasn't
still
taken off.
there.
Okay, last line. Yes, the last line of the last article, expenditures exceeding appropriations. So insert here, so the last sentence says, notwithstanding this section shall be construed to be a limitation upon the Board of Finance in the disbursement of the whole or any part of the town contingent fund. Oh, sorry, nothing in this section, sorry, excuse me. Ignore that. The last sentence is, in the event of budget category shortfalls in any department other than the Board of Education, the chief financial officer, with the approval of the Board of Finance that currently is in the charter. And then the question is, and the town council, I'm forgetting where this might have come from. This might have come from members of the town council.
Correct.
May make line item transfers provided the total budget shall not be increased thereby.
Can I just?
Yeah, I'm not for that because the line item budgets, they happen all the time.
Hold on a second, hold on.
A lot
Okay,
of them
Chris,
have
go
to do
ahead.
with, a lot of them have to do with balancing out accounts during the year. They're really inconsequential. So I don't know, does the town council want to vote on 50,000 coming out of contingency and into overtime pay? Really? I mean, I don't think that's, somebody has to vote on it. Somebody has to be responsible for it. This happens to be the Board of Finance. I don't think town council needs to worry
I don't
themselves with
either. I
this.
think this
I
is just,
agree.
this is overdoing
I think it is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is overreach. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I
It
agree.
Serves no purpose.
Wait, is it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've sat through it. It's tiny little
Yeah,
things
you
going
start
on, like,
pulling
yeah,
too hard.
yeah. Okay, anybody else? have
Kathleen,
different- Yes,
Kathleen, is there I just don't know. I mean, Chris could answer, Kathleen, you could answer, or Judy. Could you transfer $10 million, $5 million?
Can you what? Transfer
Could
what?
you transfer a large number? I mean, is it only de minimis?
No,
Yeah,
you can.
what would you,
Yeah.
Bill, think about it. What would you have to do? You'd say, oh, we're not going to build the library $10 million. We're going to take the $10 million and give it to the school board. I mean, come on.
No, I'm just asking, but the only point I'm asking is that the town council has the right to approve, but not increase spending. And so, if I was on the town council, I'd say, look, I approved the budget and someone moved the big number around. I don't feel good about that. But so if it was
Yeah, but
just the minimum,
But big numbers never get moved around. I mean, we've
They never do?
seen it.
Well,
Okay,
you
but it was-
can't say that,
It
Chris.
says provided the budget shall not be increased.
Nobody's trying to
Yeah, this
increase
is
the
where
budget.
excess
Yeah,
money has
that's right.
not been spent
Yeah.
in a line item. Should we, the Board of Finance, and the chief financial officer, can they say, I'd like to take this $50 over here and move it to this line?
Well, I'm gonna come up with a real,
up to-
I'm gonna come up with a real example.
Yeah.
So I think partially why this is in here is that some people have money taken from them in their departments,
Oh, that, yeah, that.
but they don't
Yes.
have that control. So I'll give you a real life example. Currently, there's been money that's been reallocated on the voter registration for early voting. There's supposed to be 22 days of early voting this year, technically, I think. But now they don't have the money because that money has been reallocated somewhere else to basically do the entire 22 days. So this is an example where at
It's
least,
approved by the Board of Finance, right?
No, it's first selectman. This is,
But this has to be
Yeah.
approved by the Board of Finance.
Yeah,
Am I reading it wrong?
but that's different.
no, that's.
Yeah, but the first selectman will have to reallocate it out of.
so I
The
think.
Board of Selectmen has that right up to the 10 or 12,000, which I think
Yes.
they should increase because it's gotten.
I actually think you
nitpicky.
need, if you think you own a budget line item, for instance, at the bank, anyone took money from me, I had to approve it. And I would have said, you know what? Sorry, as the register of voters, you can't take that money.
Well,
I
you-
need it for X.
You would assume it would be a conversation
But it
and
hasn't been.
voluntary. So how do you correct that again, which is a
Where did-
leadership
well-
issue?
Well, Jennifer,
Um,
where'd the money go?
Yeah.
I'm not sure where it went, but it isn't there.
Well,
And
well, then-
essentially now
well,
the
then-
Secretary of
well, then
State's getting involved.
it sounds like you have half a story. And you've heard it from one half of the debate, not the other half. Go find out where the money went, and then we can decide whether that was appropriately done.
Well, if the Board of Finance approved it, there's gotta be a record of the Board of Finance review. It should be pretty open to us seeing it.
No, that's a
I don't-
Board of Selectmen.
No, it says
decision.
Board of
Board of
Finance.
Finance.
Board
It
of Finance.
shouldn't be. It should be.
I
Board of
know
It's
the-
always been the Board of Finance
But
and
if the Board of
it
Finance
should
approved
be.
it would just see that it should be traceable, to me.
Oh, it should be traceable.
Absolutely.
It should be a vote.
Yeah,
and an
absolutely.
approval.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So what?
I don't really care about it.
So how do you want to say this so that it has to be approved by the Board of Finance
It says
and
that
it has to?
It does say that.
it does say
It does say that.
They're just
yeah.
trying to add town
they're adding
council also.
whether
They're adding
another,
a control that
That's-
basically says, and we heard it from Maria Naughton and we heard it from, I believe, Kim, to basically.
on line
talk-
item transfers.
Yeah, on line item
That
transfers.
they need to go to the town.
And that they also want to be
Really?
involved because they're the actual, they also work on the budget. Yeah, so the town functions.
Well, that's different than increasing it.
That's not what it
just
says here. There's no
another-
increasing
That's my
here.
point. That's
This
not
is
what
all
that
about
says.
moving A
Right.
to B.
Yeah.
There's no plus or minus. This is, the two of them have come forward.
Yeah.
We've got some examples, and that's why this was put there.
But there's obviously an issue for this to be put, to have to
Yeah,
have.
so this is, again, I think it's overreach. I mean, really, all the boards, all
How
the
do you correct
commissions, everybody that talked to us, the only people who want more power, more authority, more controls, the town council. And it just doesn't make any sense.
And can I say that it's only some members of town council that
That's
seem to
right. I
want
don't want to target a whole lot of them.
additional powers? I mean, I'm great that some of the members of town
Probably
council
have.
were really well prepared when they came to speak to us, and others not so much. That's not great. But, there wasn't a great clamor for this from a significant number of town council.
Well,
Oh, I
it
think
just
there
seemed
was
to me-
half.
it just
I
seemed
would
to me,
agree. Yeah.
without ever having done this myself, without ever even sat through a line item transfer, it would just seem to me that once somebody approves the budget, that material changes to the budget, you can define that as whatever number you want, big number, or eliminations of items in the budget, that should go back to the town council. Now,
I agree.
I mean, we shouldn't have to write it down if it's just a matter of courtesy, but
Should.
I guess we have to write this stuff down. I mean, I
don't
mean,
think
if
you
you-
have big items. I mean, you have little tiny items. I mean, at the end of the year, the biggest thing is we ask the departments to give us a list of all the projects that they have closed out. And sometimes, they leave these budget items open for a year or two after their budget's closed out. And every year we, collect another 100,000 or so for the general fund because we make everybody go through it and eliminate all these projects which are completed. And they just, underspent the budget, but they have to actually give us back the money. They have to go through the process.
I guess I'm prepared to talking about this, but could we, Kathleen, just find out what the line item transfers were in each of the last 3 years? And I think, as you've said before, once we see the detail, we'll understand if we have a problem.
And this also specifies in the budget category shortfalls in any department. It doesn't.
Meaning you've asked for $100, you only spent 90.
So that is.
And so
Terribly.
under government accounting and municipal accounting, you have to clear out these before you start the next financial year. So you gotta just wipe them
I
out.
don't understand how that example that Jennifer gave,
That seems
Would-
like a separate issue.
how
than
that would
just-
Right,
happen.
if that's the,
I would say that they had too much money for the elections and then they had to move it. So that, I don't see how
They
that.
didn't have too
But
much,
is
they
it- I'm
budgeted
just-
for that 22 days.
I guess
but
my-
But they don't have that money anymore.
But what I'm saying, that doesn't,
That's right.
that doesn't fall under this.
But I don't know if this is where it is. Do you go back and redo the registrar? Or do you go back and put it somewhere else? Because if that's the only issue, if that's the only group that has an issue.
No.
It's not?
I don't know, if we don't trust our Department of Finance.
Oh,
that's gonna be a
God, I
problem.
know.
But
What do you-
maybe it's just not specified anywhere in the charter how they,
Okay,
like,
how-
once
how
you've
about
approved
this?
the town budget,
Yeah.
can you move anything around
Yeah.
wherever you want?
Yeah.
Or is it stuck
Well,
there?
this is another operational issue that we've
Yeah.
uncovered in the
Yes,
discussions
yes.
and so forth, and my budget is being interfered with. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't want to get
That's
involved in
the
it,
perception.
but I hear that often. And so I would just say this might fall into the category of recommendations. If there is a budget item that is suddenly no longer there, sounds like a complete wipeout, not reducing.
No, it was a
A
reduction.
reduction. After it was
Reduction.
approved by the Board of Finance? After it was
Yeah.
approved by
After the budget's
everything?
over is the point. That's the issue.
I think that,
Yeah.
But the
that,
question is,
so we've got, somebody should
People and
discuss it.
overtime and there's a whole list of
I
items.
think it's really sad we're even having to discuss this. I just
You and
don't
me
know.
both. I
I
agree.
just don't know where it belongs and I don't know how to
It belongs
rectify
in descriptions of things you should
that
do better.
are not working, that are
exactly.
not working.
Exactly.
Yes, but I just don't think adding town council approval to this particular particular line would have fixed the problem.
I
This
don't
is
know
the
if it would or
year-end
not.
thing, just
I'm
clears it
wondering the
out.
same thing.
Okay, so the proposal is to, under section 5-28, expenditures exceeding appropriations. I don't even know that this sentence belongs in because these aren't expenditures exceeding, but it does address all of that. And then this last line years ago was put in that says, look, when you have a shortfall, what do you have to do? You have to make line item transfers. It's done every year.
Yeah, it
It's done at
is.
the end of the year. It's very simple. There's no secret. Let's reduce this budget. And so somebody can't pay for X. So I suggest that we take out town council. We find another means by which people are advised about how to address budget.
I'm gonna make the motion.
Okay. Go ahead. What's the motion?
The motion is to take out and town council and leave just
Yeah.
Board of Finance.
Just retain it as
Retain it
is.
the way it is.
Retain it the way it is. Everybody in favor of retaining it the way it is?
Is the Board of Finance in there, or is it just?
Yeah.
Took out town council,
Correct.
but
That's
is
my
it
motion.
Board of Finance, did they approve it?
The Board of Finance does it.
Yes.
It's this leaving the
sorry,
language as
the-
it's been.
The chief financial officer
Does
with the
it?
approval of the Board of Finance.
That's the
Yeah.
current language. That's how it happens now.
That's, yeah, that's how it already
Yeah,
is.
the chief financial officer does the work, puts the numbers
Do
together,
they
does the Board of
routinely-
Finance, we vote.
I'm
Okay.
sorry, I'm just missing what Chris said. Someone talked. Chris, did you
Yeah.
say the Board of Finance approves it?
Yes,
Yes.
they vote on it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so I made the motion.
Over a certain dollar threshold.
Now, I'm just making the motion the way it is. You can turn it down. I'm
Yeah.
making a motion.
Can I just ask a question before
Sure,
that?
of course.
Currently.
Yeah.
In the line item transfers, does that get reported? Can that be seen by the?
Part of the Board of Finance meeting, there is a report that comes
Right.
out. It lists all the line items, the chief
So you-
financial
you-
officers.
You can see them.
Yes,
Oh, yeah, you can see them.
Full transparency.
yep.
Full transparency.
Okay, do we have a second to, I just think does everybody agree or is anybody opposed to this? I don't
I
think-
second.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
There's a
I
co-
just
okay, so-
I would just like to say I'm in agreement because I'm going to have to turn off in a minute.
Okay, all right, so I'll call it out. So Angela's in agreement to leave it as is. Todd, okay. Karen,
Agree.
Joe,
Change.
change, add town
Yeah,
council.
yes,
Yeah, okay, okay. All right. And Kathleen is in favor of leaving it the way it is. And Judy,
I'm just wondering if there should be an addition in the process with the Board of Finance, if an employee or group or division or whatever disagrees that the end of the meeting that they should come present their case. Maybe that's where the
But
change
why do
needs to
you
be.
get to have a vote, then come and disagree?
But Judy, you were on the Board of Finance. You know how it works. What are you talking about?
Oh, look, I just made a motion. We have to vote on it.
yeah,
to
we're
vote
going
on.
through and
All right.
we're calling the vote on each one.
Leave
Judy,
it, leave it.
leave it, okay. Jen,
Add town council.
okay. Chris,
Silverkill.
Leave it.
yep. And Bill,
Leave it.
yeah, okay. And Steve
It is off.
is off. Okay, so he's absent, as is Russ. Okay, okay. So the motion carries that we are going to leave it as is, Board of Finance. We're not including the town council on this particular item, okay? On line item transfer. And that vote was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in favor. And you have said no. Did I miss anybody? No.
Look, but I do agree there's gotta be full transparency. These things
yeah,
have to be listed.
for sure.
Transfer.
For sure. I think what, Jennifer raises is a good
Yeah,
point.
me
I just
too.
don't
No,
think it's addressed here.
It's just,
so.
it's incomprehensible that it's gotten to this point,
Okay.
is my view.
Okay, I agree
But
with
it's
that.
not a charter in my.
I
view.
agree with
It's
that.
different. Yeah.
Okay, so that concludes our conversations about Article 5. Everybody in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed to Article 5? Okay, thank you.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Aye. No, okay, I got it. Okay. You're
Chris,
on a delay.
Kathleen, I'm signing off. Gotta go.
Thank you very much. Thank you,
you.
everybody. Good flights, safe flights, everybody.
Bye.
Bill, do you want
Go
to
to
listen to
China.
this for a minute? Do you have a minute? Can we add
Sure,
the
go ahead.
language that we were supposed to review on the sale and lease and purchase? Because the way we've got it structured now would be in each section, so it wouldn't be just one. The parking commission shall notify the town council and first selectman on any development, alteration, change of use, sale or transfer. Street public parking facilities owned and controlled by the town. The Park and Recreation Commission shall advise the town council and first selectman on any development, alteration, change of use, sale or transfer of park and recreation facilities owned and controlled by the town. The same for Conservation Commission, the same, the town council is slightly different. The town council shall approve any development, alteration, change of use, sale or transfer of town-owned land and real property. There has to be an addition there somewhere that either implies or states, I probably has to state, subject to referendum, so that the public has the right.
Yeah, there's a lot to process there.
But my point is,
Yeah.
do you like putting it in all the sections, or do you want to do a general?
I don't even know I don't know.
Well, we talked about these four.
Why don't we,
Can we send that around?
Yeah, sure.
send it
I'm
around?
gonna send that around.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
gonna send this thing with the attorney.
All right.
With the what?
Oh, yeah, I thought you were done. You had more.
So Judy, do you think we should have a referendum to knock down the kerosene barn?
No, not at all, but I am saying that we had put in Park and Rec, and we were gonna go through this again, the 3 million, and I don't have a preference for a number. But if we are going to use the number, should it not be the same number for any
Why do you have a number?
well, then he's right, you're doing, the kerosene barn, literally. If you're tearing something down, it
Okay, so
should
Judy,
be
can you put
bigger.
that in writing to
Sure,
everybody
sure.
and so we'll have that discussion on Monday.
I won't be
So-
here Monday, so
Okay,
that's why I wanted you to think about it while I.
Okay, can you send that around? Okay, that'd be great. Listen, while we also have, and if anybody wants to bail at 6, I think we can, we actually accomplished a lot. But we have the benefit of counsel with us here. Are there any outstanding items that need council review? Hi, Nick. Any outstanding that we left? So one thing, Nick, before you joined, Todd is going to take a stab at the town attorney unless you have some
That's an interesting
suggestions.
statement.
I'm sorry,
That's a fascinating statement.
what's that?
Todd is going to take a stab at the town attorney.
Oh, okay, yes, yeah.
He knows how I feel
It's
about it.
late, it's late during this meeting, so thank you. Okay, so Todd is going to send around some language that he's put together
I'll send it to you too.
and we'll include Nick as well. You have it, are we duplicating efforts here? Have you put something together already?
Me?
No, I'm asking Nick.
Are you
Demonte.
speaking to me, Kathleen?
Yes,
No,
sir.
I mean, I haven't specifically drafted. I've looked at what's been reviewed or been sort of contemplated so far. I've looked at some of what our other charters for some of the other towns have. But I mean, I've heard varying input, so I'm not exactly sure where you folks are landing at this point. Judy was talking about opening language up to make it more clear that I guess additional or multiple attorneys of different specialties can be hired. I mean, the existing language seems to allow for that, in my opinion, anyhow. So no, the answer is I don't have anything specifically prepared.
That's
I'm
fine.
happy to look
That's
at
fine.
what Todd comes up with.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Any other legal issues that are outstanding from our conversations over the last 2 days? No. Okay. All right, Nick, thank you. Inland wetlands. I don't know whether we should have this discussion. Angela's not here. But does anybody want to, let's tackle something that might be easier to do. How about Parks and Rec? Is everybody happy with that?
Well, it depends on whether you want to put this in language.
Yeah, and then we go back to the language.
Yeah.
And that's the language about the 3 million.
Well, yeah, whether you,
Let's start from the beginning.
want
That's
a
the last
general-
item. That's
All
the
right.
last item.
all right.
Shall we start from the beginning on Park and Rec? This is going to be on page
Page
29. And it's article, the new article will be Article 13. It's currently 12. And let's just walk through this. Who wants to take this up? Karen or?
Yeah, sure.
Go ahead. We've taken out no fewer than 7, right?
Yes, so we changed,
11
I'm trying to remember if we already discussed this and I can skip.
Not
some
as a
parts, but
commission.
Okay. So this was the only commission that had this this range of number of members. I think
Right.
in practice, they are 11 members, so we just made that official.
Okay.
Couldn't find any rationale specifically for why this was 7 to 11, so we feel
Doesn't that
comfortable.
match the state statutes?
The Park and Rec?
Yeah, because also in planning and zoning, they also have in the state statutes, either can be 5 up to 9.
Right, but then the charter can specify
Yeah,
how many.
Right,
Yeah.
but I think that's
That's
where
it
this
came
language
from.
came
Okay,
from.
No, that makes sense.
Okay.
The rest of that is just general changes that I think were made across the board. Then the section C13(4)E, that one's highlighted, I think, because we had discussed within our group the request by the current head of Parks and Rec about, right now they use the resources that they use for park maintenance sit under Department of Public Works. And he suggested they should sit under Parks and Rec. We decided to leave it. If
Yeah.
they want to do that, if they want to make that change organizationally, we think it should be an ordinance, something in town hall, not
Or an
something in the
agreement
charter.
between the two
Yes,
departments.
agreement between the two, because what you get, you've got one person who's possibly going to retire soon, and you don't know who that, it may not work as well as it does now, so we wanted to leave.
When that change was made, it was during the 10 years of the charter and nothing was changed. They just moved it. We
Yeah.
didn't- So I don't think we need to
Yeah, I don't
change
know if you
anything
need
here.
to change it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Then you took out.
And then
the-
we added we took out this annual report because the commission is not doing that annual report. And I think that the reason is much of that material gets put together as part of the budget process. Like the budget presentation has, here's what we did last year.
It had
and that
every
is-
single piece of the
Yeah.
action in it.
And
Yeah.
that is the department head, not the commission putting that together.
Right.
And so we took out that language, but we did put in, currently Parks and Rec doesn't really participate in the budget process. The commission does not participate in the budget process, I should say. And so we, instead of having that annual report part, we just put in that they should review and recommend the annual budget. I don't know that and recommend should be in there. That's debatable. Review the annual budget for maintenance and operations of Parks and Rec as prepared by the Director of Parks and Recreation.
Yeah, I think that's probably more accurate.
Just review.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't even get into the numbers.
Okay. I think that's fine.
Can I ask, what is the rationale for making things different at the $3 million level?
Okay, so we haven't gotten to that
Yeah.
section yet. Okay, so let's go.
Yeah,
So
we're
now
not-
we're under
Yeah.
acquisition
Of
of
park
park property. And so this language was inserted, tell me why?
No, it was there, and that was after Irwin. So your last charter was after Irwin.
This was it there?
Oh, no,
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 that's
I
what
meant
we're-
the section.
Yeah,
No,
no.
okay.
Okay, so,
If
and
the-
I'll let Todd and Judy were more,
Yeah, well, we wanted a process. And we wanted to include more than purchase.
so
Or-
currently the town council does have to prove acquisitions of property for parks, right? So that is there. What we were suggesting is that if it's a large amount, and whether 3 million is the right number or not, we're not sure, but if it's a large amount, then that town council approval shouldn't just be the majority, it should be an 8-member.
Which is a super majority.
Super majority.
Spend, or
No,
to
but-
more of the town or
yeah, but you
something.
get
There's
in-
gotta be
Is
some-
that did the town council recommend that?
No,
Just
we
you guys?
had, well, we wanted to try and,
Those crazy kids.
yeah, we wanted to codify the process, if you will.
Just see
We're
what-
introducing a new process. is what
No,
you're
but
saying.
that's, yeah. But the transfer, it incorporates anything that might get done that's been left out, that the public doesn't have a right to be
Mhm.
either to review, to vote on, or to
But
run a
going back to Joe's
referendum.
question, why 3 million?
It doesn't, we're not in love with 3 million. We could care
Okay.
less. Whatever you want to do, it's fine. It does, but you know, the only,
Just an idea, okay.
yeah, but
And
Irwin
at
was
some
20
point when you're
million. That's
spending a
the,
lot of money.
yeah.
Should it just be a simple majority of the town council? The answer may be yes. We may be fine with that. You know,
You
for
good?
me, if you spend that much money, you get to a point where some sort of supermajority makes sense, or a vote of, or a referendum or something. Let's say you want to spend 50.
We had both. We had, it was one short of unanimous for Irwin, and we did hope, and they did do a referendum,
Which is a good idea.
which is
Same as
what, the
hybrid.
way it should have been.
But there was no process for it. You just did it.
But, well, yeah, but there
There's
was
no
money
prescribed
involved. Had
process.
it been a transfer, or had it been a demolition, or had, it isn't subject to a referendum. It's not even a possibility. So I thought however we decide to treat this, we probably should treat town property in general.
But I wonder if we should, if we're, you know, we own a lot of property, and if we have an opportunity to sell something, we should make it more difficult to sell it, right? I mean, acquisition, the money's coming out of the town coffers. That's another story.
That's different.
But a sale, we're bringing money into the town. Why make
Well,
it?
But let's say they want to sell
If you
Waveney.
speak to the conservationists, they'll.
Yeah.
they'll
Let's
That's
say
let
they
you
want
right.
to sell Waveney, right?
Oh, I remember when there was
An
an
open
RFP
space.
for Vine Cottage.
That's right.
And open
And there
space
was-
in general.
There was an RFP for Vine Cottage that went out. I think only one
Yeah.
person submitted.
Two,
Two, okay.
whichever.
And I think the town body should have a say in that, despite the money coming in on the
Right.
sale.
I agree with you.
Totally agree.
There's a sort of kind of a sub-issue here, and we addressed this back when we looked at the town planner letter. If, for example, the meeting that is going to make this vote has just the bare quorum, which would be what, 7 people,
Yeah.
then a majority vote would be 4.
But then what you could do is say supermajority constituting more than 70% of the vote.
Right, that's my point.
I think you're right.
We should put something in
That's fine.
if we're at a smaller number.
Is your attorney still on the phone?
Nick, are you still with us?
You there?
I was just going to say, sorry, it's Angela. I'm just not in favor of supermajorities. They sound, you know, fine in abstract, but they do gum up the works in practice. I don't see the need for that, and I think, as someone else has pointed out, that you know it could, in the case of sales, really prolong matters when we don't need that, and perhaps jeopardize the sale.
Hey, Nick, do other towns have processes when they're selling property that exceed a certain amount where there's supermajorities or different type of votes for large transactions of land either way?
Yeah, and it completely is different from community to community. So an example I'll give is in Wilton, where up to a certain threshold, and interestingly, I think the language that's used in the Wilton Charter contemplates a certain percentage of the total town budget as the earmark for what triggers it would be a town meeting vote in that context. Other larger municipalities have a lot more of a robust framework for acquisitions and dispositions that aren't necessarily built into the charter itself. It's more of a code of ordinance process. But really, yeah, I mean, I'm at a little bit of a disadvantage to give a certain recommendation one way or the other, because it really does, it's different. There typically is a number and some sort of threshold that kicks it into a higher level of approval. I mean, when we're talking about a sale of town property, the Planning and Zoning Commission is always also independently going to be involved, because they have to issue a recommendation under General Statutes 824. So that's another another component of this. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a number, and it's for the reasons that everyone's describing. It's I mean, like how big of a sale do you want to add in these additional steps that can delay things, that might kill a potential deal? I'm just pausing for a moment to think if there's any other nuances to how this works in some of the other towns.
I think it should be.
It's like what we were proposing, Nick, was that once it gets over $3 million for the sale or acquisition of property, that needs supermajority from the town council. Is that something you've seen before? Or is that just out of whack?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, your question was more, super majority versus not. Honestly, I haven't seen the majority versus super majority condition, so to speak, come into the mix on this particular
Well, no.
issue. I don't think you're precluded from doing it.
7 to 8.
Yeah.
But remember too, the towns that Nick is citing also have, or like RTM towns, or town meeting towns.
Yeah, that's.
So the people who are voting on this is, what's Greenwich, 330 RTM people?
Mhm.
It's a very different construct than to what we have as town council.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You're really getting almost like a proxy vote of the public from that.
Yeah,
vote.
I think one vote doesn't represent the proxy. That's why I like one additional.
Well-
It's 7 versus 8.
Well, you have
really?
you have the right, obviously, Nick, to go to referendum and on anything that's major,
Right.
even if it's only one person. The community can turn it down. The point we're trying to get through here, whether it's purchase, it's disposition, it's transfer, it needs the votes of obviously the three major bodies and certainly Parkland if it's in Park and Rec and P and Z and maybe conservation if it's part of open space. I mean, there's all these little other areas that would have to be approved and recommend. That's not different than Irwin. It's exactly the same. But if we were transferring or disposing of a property without income, that should be included in this range of review.
Why does that fall under Parks and Rec?
Well, it didn't because it was already in here. We're trying to work with
The only reason
language
it's in
that's
Parks
in
is
here. I
just
said,
there's a-
should we make it
There's a
broader?
specific note in Parks and Rec, and I don't think it occurs elsewhere about property purchasing.
Yeah,
That if you're buying property for the parks,
that's
it
right.
specifies that it has to go to town council for approval. I'm assuming there's an ordinance that if you're buying property for anything, it needs to go to town council for approval,
Oh,
but I don't.
I think
Yeah.
it would. Yeah.
It just
But if
happens to
it's
be
in
explicitly
Parkland,
stated in the parks.
This must
section.
have been inserted after Irwin 10 years
It
ago,
was
no?
inserted after
It
Irwin.
was inserted, yeah, after
This
Irwin.
was just because of
That's
Irwin.
how it, yeah.
But
We
started.
rarely bought
This
stuff.
this highlighted yellow language.
No, that's
is
new.
red lines. That's
That's
new.
new.
Right, but the original intent was
Was
due to
the whole
Irwin because
thing,
it's
yeah.
of the park.
No, I understand that. But that new language, I just don't understand why it's even there.
Can I go back to supermajority for a second?
Well,
We also talk about minority representation, where you have to have two parties. In the absence of a supermajority, you could have one party just controlling a major decision at a majority level, and the minority representation is completely excluded. Just.
Town councils, how many people?
I mean, that,
Well,
they can do that anyway, because the
We could-
majority,
they
the
could do
minority
that
party
anyway.
doesn't have, there's so, even with a majority vote,
yeah.
you can
8
have
to
all
4.
Republicans and no Democrats vote for something, it still pass. That happens all the time.
Right.
Can I just clarify something in case folks aren't aware of this? I mean, there is an existing code provision, as many of us know, from 23 that requires any sale of town property to get town council approval first, unless it's parkland, open space, or playgrounds, or if the value is below $10,000. And also, if it's a property that has become town-owned property by virtue of a foreclosure. So those are the exceptions, but as long as it's not parkland or open space, it's higher than $10,000 in value, and it was not acquired by foreclosure, by this code provision that will go to the town council. Obviously, this is a code provision that could get amended fairly easily. Not a charter provision, but that is what is and has been on the books.
That's any town property
But the parks.
but parks.
That's why it's in here for parks. And you're saying that
But
parks
that's,
should mirror
he's talking
that.
about sale, not purchase, I think, Nick, right? You're talking about the
Sale
sale
of
of
property.
things, not purchase. So-
Correct. Sale or lease, or, I mean, it uses the term transfer here as well.
So
All right, so
why,
if it's,
why wasn't parks included in that code?
I have no idea. Huh.
Nick, are you aware? Nick Bamonte.
I am not aware, actually.
So maybe it sounds like some more research needs to be done on this.
I'm sort of going your way. I'm okay taking it out.
I'm okay taking that out, but I'm not okay with not knowing where it goes.
Well, maybe it goes in the code.
Well,
But maybe we just need to sort of, it sounds like more facts needed to be gathered about this ordinance, which I don't think anyone here knew, right?
I didn't know about it.
no,
What's
I
the
didn't.
code- What's the code number, Nick? That you referenced?
Yep, one moment.
Okay. And if it's as substantive as
Yeah,
I think
what you're
I'm
saying,
hearing
I think that covers
it's-
it. I think that's the intent.
that maybe it's our recommendation that, let's clarify that code a little bit better.
So it's section, chapter 50. It has 2 subsections, 1 and 2. That's it.
All right, thank you.
Does the Playhouse come under recreation?
No,
No,
not a park.
but if it's something that would be recommended by conservation, which would probably be an open space. That's not parkland, that's not town land. Now we're talking the regular procedure with town council. But if it's a transfer or it's a disposition, like, let me think,
Park
like,
property.
well, example was the police department, if that was to become senior housing. That's disposition and nobody had a right to do anything. Where does that belong? So that you could include the right to
Well, that actually
referendum.
moved itself out. Town council said that they didn't want to do it, right?
No,
So-
no, it never got, it was all Kevin's doing. It had nothing to do
He
with
issued
them.
studies and
So
they're
I
gonna
think-
move.
Yeah, but you never gotten it approved because town council would have come out.
I'm not so
I feel
sure.
like this whole 6013-5 method of acquisition of park property is really just restating the
Yeah.
the special appropriations process,
It is.
but in specific to parks.
Correct.
And
Just
do we
parks.
need
Just
need
parks.
to do that? It's the same process, right, for any
Yeah, but
special
it's excluded in
appropriation?
special appropriations, except parks, I think it said.
Yeah, I don't
think
know
so it has
why.
to be
I have
here,
no
unless
idea
we
why.
take
That's
that
in the code. I have no idea why, and that might be,
It sounds like we need to do a little research here.
yeah.
I think we have to clean up, but I'm for leaving it the way it is.
But Nick, yeah, I'm okay with that. but
Leaving way means taking out the yellow.
Taking out
Yeah,
the yellow.
okay.
I
Okay,
think that's, in retrospect.
And I don't think we need to do any more research on this parks part. I think it's
No.
fine.
No,
I think
it's fine.
I think what Judy is saying is she wants a better defined process overall.
Process in town.
Which
for
in my
everything,
mind, I
not just
think
this.
that is already defined. I may be missing
We
something.
came up with that
There
as
is
a
an
starter.
I
appropriations
understand.
process.
I think
Okay.
yours too.
maybe it's
Yeah,
in that,
there's
it's in
no-
that
so-
code 50.
So in this code 50, there's no 50-1 is approval required. No sale or lease of real property owned by the town shall be valid unless approved by the town council. So there's nothing there about transfer.
Or subject to a referendum.
Well,
Nick-
mark the referendum, but there's
Yeah.
nothing there with,
Yeah.
you were looking for transfer, right?
Right.
And then there's 50-2, which is exceptions. Section 51 shall not apply to sales of real property except parkland, open space, or playgrounds if the fair market value of such property does not exceed $10,000.
Okay, so again, not sure why parkland is not included in
Yeah,
that.
I'm not either,
And
so that,
$10,000 remedies.
So there's
Nobody-
no,
you're not
so
getting
there's-
parkland
But
for
also
10,000.
Actually, hold on a sec, folks. I'm sorry.
Not purchase.
Nick, go
yeah,
ahead.
go ahead.
I'm reading this holistically here, and it's
love that.
like it's a double negative. So
Yeah, it is.
what the exception is saying, okay, so the baseline 50-1 says no sale or lease can occur unless it's approved by the town council.
a
Okay.
real property. Yep.
Yes, correct. And then the next section goes on to say That does not apply where we're talking about a sale of real property if the value is below 10 grand. But then it carves out of that.
That's fine.
So this still does apply. So what it's saying is, even if the value of parkland, open space, or playgrounds is below 10 grand, it is still subject to the approval requirement by the town council.
Okay,
Yep.
so my
Thank you, Nick.
misunderstanding.
Yes.
Yeah.
But Nick, assuming that it's like the police station and it's worth several million or maybe less, how do you get that to a process where it is subject to a referendum? Because it's not a purchase.
That has to be a new law that you.
Well,
need that.
where do we put that?
Can I just step back for a second? I mean, I'm hearing referendum, and if there's an intention to authorize a townwide vote, a referendum
Yeah,
on a potential sale or some different use of property or whatever you guys want, that
Yeah.
needs to be specifically built into the charter, and it needs to be built in somewhere. Because you can't just point to state statute and say, hey, 7 dash whatever allows for a local referendum, right? Wrong. That is very wrong. If you want a right for a referendum, it needs to be expressly built into your charter.
Does anybody else do that with property?
or transfer or disposition.
Sounds extreme.
I don't, not that I'm recalling.
People were so
honestly.
angry about this. It's all you heard.
People.
Just,
I have a question for Nick.
that was even-
Can I ask it?
Loudly, you know,
Can I
those
ask
people
Nick a
go-
question? Is a parking lot real property, Nick?
Sure.
Is
Sure
it?
it is.
Okay, just wanted
Well,
to.
so that would be another inclusion. Yeah.
I.
All right, can we, yeah, okay, and so Parks and Recreation, we've made it, everybody in favor
Oh,
of the
but
change?
I have a question.
Yes.
So, group, what were you?
Three.
One? Three? Did, did Tiger Man come to you and speak to you? Because when we met with Tiger, there were certain sections of Park and Rec, the, article that needed to be revised or tweaked with his input.
Where, here?
Yes, there.
Oh, no. And I talked to him. He never even mentioned it.
I can find the notes and send them
Okay.
around to you guys, because
I think that was more under his section. I don't know,
No.
was on Parks and Rec?
yes,
Okay.
so I just
You
had,
send it to everybody?
yeah, of course.
Where are we on Public
All right,
Works?
we'll take this up. We're gonna say goodbye. It's
All right.
6:05. We're gonna say goodbye to Todd. If anybody else you want to continue, who's still on the line?
Yeah,
Is,
Nick's still
Chris,
on the
you're
line.
still with us?
Is Chris on?
Yep, he's still with us.
I'm still around.
Chris,
Okay.
what do you think? Where do we park this if we create this in the charter?
Still not sure what. it
Forgetting
is.
parkland. I mean, the
sure
disposition.
I think it needs to go in Article 5 on the finance stuff.
Do you?
Thanks, Todd.
Yeah.
When do you, Todd, when are you
Okay.
leaving?
That's it?
When do you fly out?
Not till Friday now, but I will be back now on Monday.
Oh.
I changed things again. I didn't
Okay.
know this. I changed things.
We're all bad.
There's a strong likelihood I'll be here Friday. On Monday.
Monday, okay.
Strong likelihood.
Okay, very good, thank you. Okay, I'm going to, unless there's
So
any
it
last.
would go under 5, where would that go? Expenditures for audit.
I'm still not even sure what that is.
Well, it's creating a mechanism, whether it's town property. Maybe we can just forget all this and say town property, but then that would exclude open space or gifts from,
Why would open space have to go to referendum?
well, that's why what I'm wondering, if there was a sale of open space, wouldn't be us, it'd be through the Conservation
Yeah.
Commission.
Open space is not necessarily owned by the town. You're only
No,
talking
it
about
isn't.
property owned by the town.
Well, then, all right, so let's think that through. Is town-owned property, does that encompass it all? Period.
I also just want to point out, because I keep saying this, that everything that is in that statute or ordinance and what you're saying right now, you're talking about sale, and this Parks and Rec thing is specific to acquisition.
It is.
Yeah, we've taken it out.
Okay.
We've taken
Yeah, yeah, that's-
are you
yeah.
okay with that?
But
Karen?
yes, I just don't know yes.
No, parks, it probably would be acquisition. It probably would not be sale.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
what we're talking about, whether we're talking about acquisition or sale or both. And
I don't either.
Okay.
So,
I'm fine with whatever we decided here. I just wanted to point out that that whole thing, the ordinance that he read out, that only deals with sale, not acquisition.
correct.
Right.
Okay.
Well, so, all right, think
Judy's
that.
not going to be with us on Monday.
Monday,
but-
so I know you're gonna.
Some other ordinance that deals with this
Yeah.
purchase.
Right. I'm going to recommend that whatever we're striving to achieve, it's going to be I would think it's a recommendation to adopt, either amend an ordinance, adopt a
Yeah,
new
yeah.
ordinance. I can't see it at this stage in our process, introducing a new section about this.
He just said it should be in the charter.
Do you think it should be in the charter, Nick Bamonte?
That's what he said.
I don't even know what it is, but whatever Judy is saying, is
Well,
there?
it's,
Requiring a referendum for certain threshold.
well, not requiring, but subject to. In other words, if you have the right number of votes or whatever it is, was it 2,000 or something? It's a large number, that the town has the right to have an opinion as opposed to just the town council and board of finance.
Yeah, if you want to allow for a town-wide referendum for whatever,
Not
then yes,
require it, but allow it if it.
No, you
like-
either
like-
do it or don't do it. You
Well, no,
can't,
it's
it
like
can't be
anything
discretionary.
else.
No,
There's a
it
lot
can-
of things
it
where
can't-
you can ask for referendum here.
Go
Like
ahead.
you can ask for a referendum against if they make a budget cut on finance or something, there's some things you can ask for a referendum on.
The only thing that's really in the referendum area is on laws, remember? We talked about that. It's not about people, because we went through that, which is what is a recall, what is not. It's only about law, and as Nick said, it has to be explicit in our charter. It doesn't automatically allow you to do it because it's in the state statute.
Right. So both Judy and Jennifer are both right and both wrong. So if you want to build this process in, it does need to be in the charter, but it does not need to be a full-on obligation if it's built into the charter. It could be, and you could say after you pass a certain threshold, then it's going to referendum. Or you could build in what petition would need to be filed and what number of
Percentage of
verified
votes.
signatures need
Percentage
to
of
be on
votes,
there.
just like we have now.
Right.
Which we had that, remember, I know about it because it's school start time when
That's right.
when the Board of Finance decided not to, or I forget what it was very nuanced, the language that they had to use to do that. But it wasn't about a law. It was about some budgetary decision, and they were able to go to referendum.
Right. Same thing with sidewalks.
Well, the sidewalks went to referendum. Irwin went to referendum.
So I don't know can someone in New Canaan ask for a referendum when town council or whomever votes yes to buy a $15 million property, could someone petition for a referendum?
That's
I
easy.
think so,
That's
yeah.
already
The answer
covered.
is yes.
That's
Yes,
covered.
okay, so I don't
But
really
it's
know why.
the
would we-
transfer or disposition
But let's
of
look at-
town property
what
that
was
isn't
it?
covered.
Riverwood,
Mm-hmm.
right? What did that cost us?
What?
Riverwood.
Affordable housing.
Affordable housing. That was a purchase that was made. There wasn't any referendum in that.
No, but
It's not required, you can petition to do one.
Right, I understand.
Yeah, but under what authority can you petition? Guys, and I'm really
Yeah.
sorry, I've tried to stay as long as I can, but I have to jump in 3 minutes.
Well,
So,
it would be,
Yeah,
it
understood.
would probably be, you disagree with transferring the property or selling the property. None of which.
yeah, no, I get like the rationale. I'm saying by under what authority? Where is it in our charter that allows
Exactly. It
this
doesn't.
other referendum stuff? What I'm hearing is the existing provisions that allow for a referendum cite specifically to a referendum to like overturn the passage of a local ordinance or something to that
Correct.
effect.
Yep.
Yeah, there very well may have been townwide referenda in the past for XYZ reasons, which happens in plenty of towns. And when I see that and I get the question asked, well, can we just go to referendum on anything? I say, well, what does your charter say? And inevitably, there's always a gap there, which leaves me scratching my head. Where is the
Yeah.
authority? Because the statute doesn't just do it as a baseline. So if we've gone out to referenda on other things in the past, I mean, my opinion sitting here is that's based on questionable authority because it's not expressly outlined in our charter. Unless it is, and we just aren't talking about it right now. But I mean, that is legally where I very much urge my towns to go if they want to build in a town-wide vote option for whatever. Make it very clear in your charter that's what you want to allow, because the law, there's very clear Connecticut Supreme Court case law that says on this very issue, you've got residents, you've got constituents, you've got folks who don't agree with a decision that's been made under the local charter process, and then they point to the statute and bring a petition in and say, well, I can push this issue to referendum, right? My consistent opinion based on like well settled law is no, you can't unless it's very clear in your charter. So
That's why it has to be clear.
Okay.
But in the case of the sidewalks, that was an expenditure of money. Same for Irwin. I don't know about the low income. That's different. I
Okay,
don't know
so
what happened
Nick, we're
there.
going to
Thanks,
thank
Nick.
you.
Yeah, but thanks for that.
And
anyway.
we're on the last two full meetings anyway, scheduled are Monday and Tuesday of next week. Just send me a note if you can make them. And we'll carry on. So we'll let you go, Nick. Thank you. And this.
okay. Have a
Thank
good night,
you.
everyone.
Thank
Good
you.
Bye.
Well, it sounds like if we have the time to do it, for sure. Yeah, I agree with that. Okay.
Very clear, unless you have it in the charter.
No, I
Yeah.
get that.
But no, because people show up I was there, people show up in the town clerk's office like, we want a referendum.
I know, I
And then
know.
she says, show me in the charter, and you can't. Good luck.
How do we identify what to put in the charter for referenda?
Well, I
What
think
specifically?
we're probably just down to town property,
Right.
which is pretty broad. It's a parking lot, it's a building, it's a,
It's real property.
it's
which is
real
safe.
property.
Real
as
property
opposed-
owned by the town.
Owned by the
Town-owned
town,
real
yeah.
property.
And you're talking about both purchase or just sales? You
No,
just-
Well,
purchase,
I think it should be
transfer,
both.
Purchase, transfer,
Transfer,
and what is
disposition.
this now? Purchase, yes?
Purchase is covered because it's
Yeah.
expenditure of money.
Right.
So you
So
can, you
just you're
can
saying what's missing is the sale or
transfer,
transfer.
disposition, sale.
Okay.
What does disposition mean?
Well, I think it's,
Change.
it's more than
Trade.
sale.
Give it to somebody
Yeah,
else?
in other words, it's
Well, you
transfer.
got sale there already.
Yeah, so you can probably
Sell-
take that
sell
out.
for a
You
dollar.
can cover that with both the terms.
Yes.
Zoning department.
Okay,
But
let's,
that would be covered with 3 or 4
so
or
Judy,
5
if you'd be so
sentences.
kind as to maybe
Well, to
send a
figure
note to
out.
us
Yeah,
as to where you think it might be, if you need
well,
me,
he's,
call
I don't
me.
know, do you think Chris is right, Article 5? What do you think?
I think this is bigger than.
I think
Article
it's an
5.
ordinance, yeah, for sure. I
But I
think
do
it's an
think,
ordinance.
as I said last time.
He
you
said
have
it's
to
in the
make a
charter.
Oh,
decision.
he did say that,
He did
sorry.
say that.
Go in the miscellaneous section if it has to.
Well, I think though, we either
Section 1,
treat it
which is
as
the general.
Parks and Recs purview, right, which is parks. We put a sentence into, this is the discussion we had yesterday, right? Is it something on its own, or are there specific ones based upon that commission's overview? Conservation is open space, Parks and Recs is Parks and Recs. What was my other one?
See, that was what I had done. I'd put it in each section. I thought we really should have this more focused. I don't like that, but it's what we came up
And
with.
is that easier to do, and then
I don't
have
know.
the town council one, and the town council to say they are the approver. So we have recommenders and approvers, right? Because you don't want, I won't
But
want-
use of town property should probably be included as well as disposition and transfer and sale.
But
Use, because that's a biggie too. That's the whole Michigan school thing. You
there's
know?
a section, general powers of the town in Article 1, that has about 20, the search and, not search and seizure, but the eminent domain is in there and a lot of other ones. So in my opinion, I think we should look at Article 1.
Okay,
as
let's
opposed
look,
to-
let's
Okay.
take a look at those
All right.
two, 1, 5, and miscellaneous.
Well,
Okay.
does everybody agree we should do this? I mean,
I don't-
Absolutely.
I
You
have
don't
a good
agree
an-
or you
I
don't
don't have
know?
a good answer. I don't have an answer. I
Well,
don't
what
know.
happens the next time somebody comes up with a stupid idea that nobody agrees with? Because it's gonna happen. It's a matter of when.
And it's going to be big things.
And it's gonna be big because we're into a
Yeah,
lot of low-income
sure.
housing and we've got a lot of issues that aren't.
Sure.
So, it's gonna be something major and people are gonna say, well, I should have a right, and they're gonna go complain and go to some, hearing, public hearing, and that's as much as they're gonna get out of it.
Scary when he said sell Waveney Park. I mean, I think we.
Well, I
would
don't
require-
remember, there was the whole
Excuse me?
discussion of Waveney Park and building a structure on it, remember? The Board of Ed building.
Mhm.
And so I think.
And they're still looking for some.
And that
I
went to
don't-
referendum.
Yeah,
Did it?
yes, it did. No, and they lost.
But that was
Um,
parkland, so you see, that was.
So there was developments, so should there be development, alteration, change of use, sale, or transfer?
Where'd you get that language?
I wrote it.
Okay.
What, change of use for sure. What were the other ones?
Development. So let's say you're
Well-
gonna dig up Irwin Park and, I don't know,
So
put a high school there.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, those things aren't done without some kind of approval today. So I'm just trying to figure out what we're trying to fix. What's the problem here?
The public does not have any
If they do, because they
recourse.
vote for the people who are approving. it.
That's too late. That's too little,
late.
too late.
I
When
dis-
something's
I
already
disagree.
done.
I strongly disagree with that.
Well,
This is taking away, it's just saying there's not enough public input in some of these major decisions.
I think
I
exactly right.
think, I think that's exactly.
Exactly
I mean,
right.
I think,
Okay.
quite frankly,
I don't think that's a
public
fact. I think
had
that's an
input on
opinion.
Riverwoods.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right,
right.
I mean, that was not a
That's what's
small
so that-
commitment, it's not a small sale. It was, I
It wasn't
understand
a sale, it was a purchase.
Yeah.
purchase,
But technically, they could have taken that to referendum if it's money. it's
right, but I'm
purchase,
just
but-
saying,
but,
those
yeah.
are big decisions that,
I'm more-
add to the bond rate and blah.
I'm more concerned about the vision for the future and the lack of plan, especially when it comes to low income housing, especially when it comes to, another school, because that's all, I can't tell you the calls I got, and I'm not even in office on the fourth school. That just was remarkable.
Where does that set?
I think they sort of, it's not in the budget. I checked that. There's no
Well,
capital.
The numbers and how big that's going to be, the cost.
I heard about that. I didn't know where it
We're getting
settled.
close to $500 million.
Yeah.
Do you know what the taxes on that would be?
Okay, ladies and gents, thank you very much. We are scheduled for next, there'll be some communication in terms of obviously not anything that justifies having a meeting, so we have to be careful about. So Jennifer will send something, Judy might send something, I might send something. We're not going to
No,
be
right, yeah.
replying. We're just setting on the information. We're making a list of things we have to do on Monday and Tuesday. If we have to, we'll set up one final meeting later
Wednesday
in the
or
week.
Thursday, yeah.
Yeah, I'll send
Yeah,
out a
yeah.
note to everybody just to find out everybody's availability. And we'll wrap it up and we'll publish it on the 4th. Okay.
Monday at 4:00 Monday.
Yes, it's coming Monday. Yes. yeah,
Tuesdays 4 also?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
We were all traumatized by 3.
Can I have, well, that was that one time
Really
Judy
traumatized.
suggested. Okay, can I have a motion to adjourn?
I motion we adjourn.
Joe, and second? Second, who seconds?
Judy said.
Judy.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Thank you very
Aye.
much. Thank you, Chris, wherever you might be.
Toodaloo.
Where are
Okay.
you, Chris?
Let me
he's
hit
gone.
record, unrecord.
All right. So he was up the Nile, or we don't know that?
We don't know.